swear to God, I'm trying. They pushing the demons down my esophagus, screaming the easy life, what I want always. Praise made up holidays, tell me that love is the answer just to boost this economy. Buy more sell now, but I ain't following. I ain't a hollow man, I'm full of them fall winds. Take it all with a tall grin, and if you feel it, do it with me. And just sing what the song says. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big, so big, so big, so big. Take it all for what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. It ain't all so big. It ain't all so big.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, y'all. It's me, SB.
Dearly beloved.
And we're back with another fantastic Monday over here at SB Nation. I hope all of you are doing well, and thank you so much for visiting with us tonight. I hope we have a good show, and thank you for, just taking time out to be with me and Black Man on a Monday night. We appreciate you all so very much. And I hope you all checked out that title already, because we're going to talk about it. We're going to see what we all have to say about it. We're going to contribute. We're going to see what Black Man got to say about it. Y'all know he going to be over here cussing me out. But anyway, we're going to see what he got to say about it. And, we're going to get through it. And whatever you all have to add over here in the chat, we welcome you so much to do so, because we love the engagement. As you're entering the live, please give us the thumbs up. We appreciate it so much. And I already know the SB Nation crew over here in the comment section. I know they've already given us a thumbs up, but just in case you haven't, please do so. Now, guys, I am getting really, really close. I don't even know the number, but I'm like just a few away from my 4,000. So again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, I need y'all to go back and make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I've heard people tell me that, Security Box, I was subscribed to your channel, but I went back and I wasn't subscribed. So make sure, check and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. And if you like what you hear and you would love to share it with a family member, so we can get these subscribers up to 4,000, so we can have a party. All right. So listen, I'm gonna bring Black Man on up here. Hey there.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Nothing going on too much. How are you?
I'm sunshine. I'm sunshine, partly cloudy today.
It did rain in my place. What about with you all?
Oh no, it's still burning us to death down here. Every day I wake up, I say, Lord Jesus, can we get a little snow or something? But yeah, I mean, God, it is hot.
Well, it's cooled off here. It's good, because we had like 80. It was like 80 degrees. Excuse me. It was like 80 degrees. So it was fantastic day. And then our little rain was actually like a little shower.
Oh, okay, yeah. One of them sit on the porch moments.
Yeah, and just kind of watch it, because it ain't gonna be there but like 3 minutes. And then go away, might come back another 3 minutes, and but no real rain. But I appreciate it anyway. So how you been?
Man, I just been rocking it out, been watching a lot of things, been preparing for some shows. I mean, it's getting wicked out here in these streets.
Yeah. Listen, I got to ask you one question. Where'd you get that picture of that woman on your show that's coming up tomorrow? I mean, I just need to know. The rainbow hair, the contacts.
Yeah, I saw her on Instagram.
Oh, my.
Yeah, that's a real person.
Yeah. She got everything. She got all of it.
Oh, yeah.
So Hank would love to meet her. He would, right?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Can't wait. Shout out to Hank. Can't wait to have him on tomorrow to discuss that.
She got everything. She had it going on. I'm telling you, I've never seen that before. Yeah. Honestly,
I've seen some with Skittles, like the actual wrapper and their head with the different colors sticking up in a mohawk. I've seen several. I've seen a lot. It's bad.
She didn't stop with the rainbow though. She had the eyes. She went on and she had the lips. She was everything. She had all of it, all in one.
And them be the ones looking for the good guy. Yeah.
No. So anyway, we're gonna say hello to a few people. Then we're gonna go around the world with our news. I know you got some news, something going on over there in Texas that we need to know about, right? But
Yep.
hold your thought. So listen, let's say hello to a few people. Stephen Day. Oh, M. Mills. M. Mills, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Stephen, thank you so much for being here. Nurse Fancy, how are you? Hank, we just talked you up. We got the right girl for you, Hank. Just kidding. I'm telling you, I'm kidding. I'm really kidding. Bolo. Hey, Bolo, how are you? It's good to see you all. If I have Dr. Steele. Dr. Steele, is good to see you. I'm going faster than Mr. Boss right now, so this is funny. So listen, if I missed you, Mr. Scotland, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate y'all's support. Y'all know that. He says, salute to SB and Black Man. Thank you very, very much. So listen, Mr. C, it's good to see you also. Thank y'all for being here. We're going to get into this show because we're running a little bit late today. Miss Jennifer, hello, how you doing? And, we don't want to keep nobody. We know Monday night's a busy night. So we want to get our party in so everybody else can get their party in and everybody can enjoy everybody. So that's kind of how I see it around here. What about you, Black Man?
Yeah. Oh, Lord, don't get me started, Jesus. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. I'm just so ready for this. I'm just ready.
My. Where you want to start at? What you got on your mind? What's going on?
I'll start with the sad news first.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard about the shooting at the Little League football game, the Pee Wee football game.
No.
Yeah. Here in Texas, a few miles from our home. Out and the little kids were playing, and after the game, one of the adults, he used to be a football player. Talib used to play for the Denver Broncos. He was one of the coaches. His brother was out. Talib started it. Talib punched one of the other coaches after the game, and then the brother pulled out the gun and shot the coach dead in front of all the kids, in front of that man's wife, in front of his son. His son was right there and just shot that man cold-blooded, just dead, right in front of his family. I just don't understand. Like something as small as a Pee Wee football game. Y'all got mad over the results of the game, and a man ended up dead over a game.
Well, that's just like what we were saying. The comment section was saying to you the other day that, a couple of weeks ago when you were talking about your weekend at the tournament, how the other coach was acting very irate and out of control due to the situation. And he could have very well had, if y'all would have continued on and the police wouldn't have showed up, he could have very well had a weapon and gotten out of control also.
Yeah.
So we got to pay attention to that. So I guess, you do need to report some of those things when it happened like that and have those people removed from those games for at least 3 to 4 times so they can think about and reflect on what they're doing, going to a kid's little league game and how to behave, because with no money behind this game. So I can't imagine why they would.
I don't know if it was or not. I think that, and then the coach is a millionaire. He's a multi-millionaire. Like, I don't understand. Like, Talib made probably $80-90 million in his football career. So, I mean, he got mad at the man after they won or something. The man picked the ball up off the field or something. And when he picked the ball up or something, I guess they were cheering too much. It pissed them off. And the Talib, the actual ex-NFL player, punched first. And then his brother came behind him and just pop, 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 pop. Just crazy. So
he was willing to take the fight, but the other one had the weapon.
Yep. His own brother. Yep. And now Talib didn't get arrested. Both of them Talibs, but the one that fought didn't get arrested. The ex-NFL player didn't get arrested. But they can't find the brother. They can't find the brother anywhere.
They can't find him. Oh, so he took us and then ran?
Anywhere. And I think with his brother being made $90 million in his career, probably $150-200 million in endorsements, I wouldn't be surprised if he put him on a jet somewhere.
Well, he'll get to hide out for a little bit, but it ain't gonna work. You know how that go.
Man, it's crazy.
I can't believe he did that and then ran.
Yeah, he did.
What did he think? I don't understand what goes on in these people's head. You do stuff like that. What do you think is going? How old was this young man? Do you know? Did they say?
Talib is in his 40s, so the brother had to be mid-30s.
Oh, that's old enough to know better.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Wow. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see, can we pick it up a little bit?
Yes,
you really won't be able to. What happened next?
They had a I'm looking for it right now. They had a thick swim party, a big women's swim party in Houston this about a couple of weeks ago. I meant to tell you that last week, where they had all the women that were probably 300 pounds plus come over and have a swim party with the Q dogs. Mr. Boss, I'm so glad you're not a Q right now.
No, he's not.
I mean, when I tell
have
you,
to protect my man. What do you mean? Wait a minute. You mean 200 pounds in bathing suits?
Yeah. Oh, security boss.
I ain't gonna talk about it. No.
You ever seen a shoelace shoelace tied around a summer sausage?
Next, a summer sausage. Next, please. I don't even want to get no visual. Next.
Oh.
Stop it. What else you got over there?
Let me see.
Anything in these YouTube streets?
Well, you know what? I've been seeing a lot in these YouTube streets. I think a lot of people don't like accountability. I saw a very interesting conversation about the Passport Brothers.
Okay.
And they really broke down what it is. I saw JB speak about this on the Lapeef Network. Shout out to JB and Cam, of course. They're about to do that thing. But he was talking about how women here hate those men because they're going elsewhere, and they think those women. And then we had women on the panel saying that, well, go to Brazil, that STI or STD infested country, and get you a woman. And JB's like, no, you guys don't understand. He said, I've actually traveled recently, and I've seen where these men we got with these women, and they have small communities. They have people are working, kids are taken care of.
Okay.
The women, he said, so I've actually saw it. He said, yes, I used to be a huge hater of it too. He said, but I actually got a chance to see how they move. He said, I can't hate on them no more. It's a very positive. They go over there, they find them a wife, they're having children. The economy's up with those families over there. So those men are enjoying those wives are submissive to those men, and he said it's a great thing.
That's good. Now listen, they don't bring those wives back here, do they?
No.
Okay.
And a lot of them don't. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. But the big thing was the women were saying that go over there and get those STD women. And what happened was there was a young lady on the panel that brought up a statistic that says in Brazil, they have 60% rate of HIV or AIDS there. But JB told her to bring it back up. And when she brought it back up, it was 0.60. She tried to make a point, but she tried to slide that in there. She wanted everybody to see the 6 and 0 and take it down real quick.
She wanted to be more than half of the people over there.
Absolutely. And it ended up being less than 1%. And also after that, somebody else pulled up some numbers. Security boss, hope you sitting down. There's more HIV AIDS virus in Atlanta, Georgia than the entire country of Brazil.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
And so when they looked that up, so they kind of shut that notion down that men are over there just being with these STD infested women. But I mean, that's all I have now. I'm just, I'm other than that.
Don't sound right anyway to be talking negative about people, a whole come on,
nation of women. Yeah, you're a hater.
That's just some negative talk, hateful, just being. Yeah. Listen, I got a little update because we done kind of let this go a bit, and some of us may not even care. But you remember the 3 officers that were also charged with the deletion of George Floyd back in 2020? I mean,
Yeah.
So they were 2 of them have said that they all have been found guilty of federal charges, federal charges because they all violated his civil rights. They got charged with that. Okay, but they were offered all 3 of them actually were offered a plea by the state. One of them accepted it, and 2 of them said no. What they're charging them with is aiding and abetting and 2nd-degree unintentional murder and aiding and abetting of 2nd-degree manslaughter. 2 of them said, nah, we didn't do it. Because remember, 2 of them, it was their like 1st or 2nd day of work.
Right.
Now, isn't this a job you probably shouldn't have had? This is like the worst job ever for them. You know what I'm saying?
What was the plea?
They said no, they're not taking it.
The one guy that took it, what did they give him?
They pleaded not guilty, and they're not accepting the plea bargain.
Right.
They're gonna go on and go to trial in October. One of them did accept it though.
And what was the plea they gave him?
Same thing. Aiding and abetting 2nd-degree unintentional murder and 2nd-degree manslaughter.
I wonder how much time he gonna get.
I didn't see. I got to go back and look and see how much time he's already he accepted it back in June. The other two, they said they're going to trial October 24th. They're gonna start the trial because they said they're not accepting that because you know what, in their mind, they like, we ain't do that. We ain't do that. We were taking some orders, second day of work, what were we supposed to do? And we didn't have to be on the back. Where they, you know. So I can't wait to see what happens to these two.
And it starts in October?
October.
Is it gonna be televised or no?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't actual, you know.
I see Amber Geiger is also trying to get out. She'll be out pretty soon.
Amber? You mean Brittany?
No. Amber Geiger, the police officer that shot the black man that's sitting in his living room on the couch.
Oh, what? Wait a minute. It has only been like a year. Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. COVID years. It's been about 2 years, haven't it? 2 or 3, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the one she went to the wrong apartment.
Yep, and shot that man in his own house, sitting on the couch. He was eating ice cream, and she shot him while he was eating ice cream.
Yeah. She getting ready to get out. You know what? That was a good one because did you remember his brother went and hugged her in the courtroom?
Yeah, he said, "I forgive you."
Yeah, that was so deep.
That was very deep.
Very, very deep. I can imagine that after that judge probably couldn't even say guilty. You know what I'm saying? Because after that happens, you just like melt because they forgave him. Well, the brother forgave him. He must have heard something in her that said she didn't intend to do this. He had to.
Yeah. Well, and he said, they were very, 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 very religious people. Even both of them, John, he was very religious. He was the choir director at the church. He was very active in the community with his church. Yeah. So, when they asked him, because, he did so many interviews here, Jesus, local news, international news. So he was saying that God is forgiving and they learn to forgiveness their entire lives. And when a time comes for them to be forgiving, they forgive. Wow. And this is one of those moments where God is testing us to see if we're really about what we say, what we stand on, what we're about. And he said at that moment, even though she took my brother's life, he said, I went in and I asked her for I told her I forgive her and I hugged her.
He did. The mom couldn't do it, but he surely did.
Yep.
That was a big thing. I mean, I felt it because, it was so random. I mean, you talking about innocent. Golly.
Yep. Eating some ice cream. You look up, gunshots. Pow, 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 pow.
Right. And then you know what? I felt like she had to be high on something. I get that all the apartments look alike and she was right below him, right? Or right above.
Right.
One of the
And you've been in that apartment a year.
Wow. That is so sad. I know that. Oh, boy, that was sad. Excuse me. That was very sad. Okay. I got one more. And this one is because of, this is crazy because me and Mr. Boss actually went to the beach last weekend.
Uh-oh.
So this past Wednesday, a woman was killed after being struck by one of those umbrellas. You know those umbrellas we sit up under at the table? The winds got high. Down there in Horry County at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is where I was.
Jesus.
The wind picked up the umbrella and blew it across the sands towards the ocean. This woman, 63-year-old woman, was laying on the beach or sitting in her chair, and it struck her. And she died on the way to the hospital of chest trauma. The umbrella came from a nearby hotel.
Oh.
Is that not the craziest?
So let me ask you this. Is the hotel liable?
Absolutely, because there's they're supposed to keep. Wait a minute, let me say this. Nothing's happened yet because this just happened.
Right.
But they got to be because even when you have to put the sails down. The boat don't do well when the winds are high. You bring the sails down, or you bring the sails up. The wind gets it and moves you forward quicker. So I'm sure the umbrella act just like a sail. The wind got in it, it lifted and rolled and tumbled. People saw it. But when they're looking at it, you would never think that it's going to delete this woman. But it hit her so violently in the chest or her torso area that it must have just punctured something.
Yeah.
She passed away.
Oh yeah, that family about to be rich.
Ain't that awful? I mean, you sitting on I took a picture at the beach with the water just in the wind. And I'm like, oh my God, did I just, yeah. It just hit. They said it kept, bouncing and it just landed up. And for the fact that the hotel did not put the umbrellas down in a down position, you probably would make them liable for it.
Wow. Security boss, when is your birthday?
October.
And you are what?
Libra.
Lord have mercy.
Why?
Libras. And you know what? You're the first sane Libra I've ever met in my life.
No, Libras are very sane. What do you mean?
Listen, I'm telling you, them Libras something else, boy. Woo! Lord have mercy.
Let me read a comment because I saw Mr. Scotland put a comment up about the Passport Brothers. The hatred for the Passport Brothers is remarkable. I can't remember the exact comment he put up.
Who
you
was
know
it,
what? I don't know who is hating on the Passport Brothers, but you know what? Love is love.
Right.
Wherever you find love, I suggest you go get it. Let's see. He says, just amazing to me. Any hatred is amazing to me, but I don't get what the hate is for the Passport Brothers. If they're happy, I'm happy for them. But I do have one comment to make, and y'all can go against me with this if you like. I happen to think women are women, and I'm just gonna leave it right there.
You see what Miss Mills said? Miss Mills says hatred for Black women is amazing to me. Miss Mills, it's not hatred for Black women. I think when men speak up, again, I'm gonna go back to my grandmother. She's still alive. Shout out to my grandmother. But I just, my grandmother would say, if someone's talking about you, they care enough about you. But if ain't nobody talking about you, you ain't doing nothing. And they don't care about you. And I think that when men are on these platforms and they're speaking, hey, listen, this is what I want. I think what it comes down to, Miss Mills, is that men cannot have they can't make the choices. They can't have preferences, right? Because if a man gets on a panel right now and say, I don't want a woman that's fat, I don't want a woman with fake hair, I don't want a woman with fake nails, I want a woman that can cook. Y'all say he's bashing her. But then women, on the other hand, get on a panel and say, girl, I don't want no 5 foot tall man. Baby, I need somebody I can look up to. I don't want no man that's making no $40,000 a year. I don't want no man. And it's okay. Everybody applauds you for having a preference. But when men have woke up now and have a preference, now it's a problem that a man don't want a fat woman. Now, if he said, I don't want a big woman. Oh, girl, he fat shaming. I don't want one with fake hair. Oh, now, girl, he want a white woman. It's the men that don't have a voice. And now that men have a voice, women say it's hatred. And it's not, thank you, Red Lipstick Vibes. Women, it's not hatred. It's just men responding to what the change that in Black women. There's been a huge shift in Black women. Black women used to be so prideful. Go back and look at the pictures when Coretta Scott and Rosa Parks, when you saw these women, how they look so eloquent and so beautiful, and move up to Angela Bassett and all these other women that carried themselves well, that didn't have to alter their bodies or had to do anything crazy like that. And they're still, Angela Bassett is 63 right now and fine. Right. But she never had surgery, no breast surgery, no face surgery, no butt surgery, no injections. She stayed the same. And so those quality of women, that's what men want. And I think women use hatred, the word hatred, as a way to cope with what men don't want no more. Men don't want to put up with that no more.
So listen, I'm tell you what I think that it is. I mean, it may be a little bit of that too, but I think men have always had and wanted their preferences. I don't know, Black men, you can help me out, but I didn't never think that men were just selling. I never thought that.
Yeah, they just couldn't speak up because they knew they knew that.
You really think that men in the past, I'm gonna say Black men, were just selling for women?
Absolutely. Right now, okay. Right.
Now. Wait a minute, hold on, slow down. You think that a man would pick his wife and it would be just, I need to know, why would he do that? Why would he just, so you're saying there wouldn't be any attraction? He would just be like, you my wife, come on home. That's how you would put it?
I mean, I'm from the South, the dirty South, down in Louisiana, and I know couples that sleep in separate bedrooms.
Well, that just means
they don't hold hands. They don't hold hands until they're at the family reunion, and you never see any intimacy between them. And some of these women are big old women that, and them men, and they looking at them. And I'm being honest right now. I'm not being funny. Some of these women look just terrifying, and so you see these men just walking around like, damn, what was I thinking? you know, and they just don't, you could tell they just don't want to be there, but they stay there because they don't want to, I guess they don't want to feel like a failure, or they don't want to feel like, you know, they don't, but some of those men, they just don't want to be there. And some of these men are just so miserable. And you be like, ooh, look at Uncle Charlie. He'd be over there just sitting there.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because I got a little different theory about that. And I agree with what you're saying, the actual state of the situation at this point.
Mhm.
But I actually think what happens is not too many Black families have good examples of husband and wife in marriage, because as doing that, a good example of it would be me pouring into you and you pouring into me. And
Right.
that would be a woman having pride about herself. And if she loses that because she may be depressed or overeating or whatever, that man, the good example of that would be like, babe, what's wrong? Let me take you to get some help or whatever. Or that man, him losing his position or value as the husband, it would be like, babe, what can I do? From the woman, babe, what can I do to help you? How can we get this marriage back on track? Instead of just letting time go by and forgetting how to actually be married. I don't
Right.
think it starts that way. I just don't think we have good examples on how to continue on in good relationships.
Exactly.
And we just let go. We just have kids. He just goes to work and come home, and
Yep.
he just goes to work and come home. She, don't pour into each other at all. So there's really, I hate to say it, not much to even live for, but they don't really know it. They're just autopilot. They're just together, and no, there's no attraction anymore. But I wouldn't say that he's settled. I would just say this is how we are now, and nobody really knows how to get the train back on the track, because nobody ever told you how to get the train on the track. Once the train came off the track, you just continue to go on in it. The man or the woman would get them a little something on the side, maybe both.
Right.
And then you hope and pray nothing tragic happens to neither.
Right.
And you hope and pray that the kids come out okay. And most of the time they do, but that's just how we were living.
Right.
But I don't know if I would say the men were settling, but I agree with you that oftentimes some of us women and men too, but I'm dealing with the women at this particular moment, we do lose ourselves, not particularly in marriage. It wasn't the marriage's fault. What happens is we get so distracted that we don't care about what we look like.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been that we never really cared, because remember I said this a long time ago, your youth hides a lot of stuff. When you're young, everybody look good. When you're young, you be thin, you had the best hair, you had
Right.
the best skin. If you just drank some water and stay busy, you're good. But
Right.
when life starts to happen and you start having kids, see, nobody was intentional back then. Nobody intentional. You just have one baby after the other, after the other, after the other, And I just think they get lost. They don't care about themselves anymore. Some of them don't even go to church together. If they do go to church together, they won't even ride in the same car. And tell me how that makes any amount of sense.
Yeah. And a lot of me, I'll say this, like my Uncle George, shout out to Uncle George. His wife just passed away. So rest in peace to her. However, I remember when they first got married, his wife was so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, she was beautiful.
Right.
And over time, it's just like she woke up one morning and said, I got my husband. I don't give a damn.
Yep.
And, she just started wearing, she would go out with him and he'll be looking all nice, and she'll come in sweatpants and some slides. And I'm like, what happened? Hair all over her head, shaved her head. I'm like, Lord.
Shaved her head?
Yeah, just shaved her hair and lined it up like she was I said, ooh, and you could tell that he didn't want to, you could tell that he lost his attraction to her.
Yeah,
and
that happens.
And I think it happens in a lot of relationships where I've heard women say, listen, I ain't got to consult with my man about none of what I do to myself. You should.
Yeah, you
because if your man fell in love with you at 156 pounds with that curly hair like you got and that beautiful smile, and then you choose to go get cut your hair off, shave your head, you choose to gain 55 pounds. That man, because men, when they first see you, they're attracted to what they see. Men are visual. Women are emotional. And
you're right, but black men, I'm gonna say it like this. I don't think this is not a conscious choice. Because what women tend to do, this is all women,
Right.
They tend to give their best to the children and to the family in the household. They kind of don't want to take care of themselves anymore. It's not right. I don't know why it happens like that. And it's because we lose the order of the way we should be. Like the husband gets pushed way back.
Right.
That's why we don't have the intention. We forget that we're supposed to be the wife, that we're supposed to keep it tight and be attractive to the husband. We forget that relationship altogether.
Right.
We don't, no one has ever taught me. I've never heard anybody say that your relationship with your husband is one of the most important relationships you'll have in your life. And you want to make sure that you keep yourself looking nice. I've never heard a woman tell me that.
Right.
Or they'll show us how to be wives on the external, meaning how to nourish, how to cook, how to clean, and do all that. But far as yourself, now you got to just have that in you. And if you don't have it in you, you will not do it. And I don't know how. And the only thing I can say about the gaining of the weight is just over time, we just stop caring about, I guess we just get really settled in the relationships and we forget who we are. I'm not saying we lose ourselves, because if we knew who we were, we would be more purposeful about being the wife, and we would be like, no, we would be more, I would say we'd be more demanding of the husband. I'll be like, babe, today would be a great spa day.
Right.
It would be a great day to get my hair done instead of me cutting it all off. I would pay more attention to myself. But you know what? Women really get it's a struggle for women to care for themselves.
Yeah.
They struggle with that. It's a struggle. They like, if a woman take care of herself too much, they feel like they're going to be talked against.
Mm-hmm.
You know how sometimes you will say, and it's not right for an example, but you know how sometimes a woman be looking really good and they'll say the kids look crazy.
Right.
You'll hear that often too, right? So that's not right either. But often we hear that. So it's not an easy balance. It takes both of the individuals in the relationship to make it right. But oftentimes, it just ain't like that. We just don't have a good example of being married. This is my thoughts. There's not a good examples of how it should be or how a woman can be through the duration. Now, listen, me and Mr. Boss ain't got a whole lot of kids. And I'm telling you, that contributes a lot. Well, I shouldn't say contribute. Yeah, that is a lot of reasoning why our life is the way it is, because we don't have a lot of kids, and now our kids are grown. But if we had a whole lot of little ones, we couldn't be this way.
Exactly.
We absolutely couldn't. But let me do a super chat.
Go ahead.
Mr. Carson, how are you? Thank you so much for your $4.99 super chat. He says, women. Wait a minute, hold on, y'all. Contact. Women gonna women. Women gonna women.
Women gonna he missed the B. Women gonna be women and men gonna be men, no matter the location.
Okay, thank you, Cedric.
Now, can I respond to Cedric real quick? Cedric, so you are absolutely correct. However, in most countries, it is leave the West out of it, leave us out of it. But in most countries, women are raised to be wives. They're shown this every day, that they're from a child up into their adolescence, up into their adult women. And so that's the difference here. Mama said, hey, listen, be independent, go get your education. But everywhere else,
up until a point, because a lot of things, though, black man, we learn from example. We'll see somebody doing it and we'll do it that way. But actually being taught like all the different trials that you're going to go through, no, they don't do that. We haven't learned that.
Right.
Not here in the West, we haven't learned that. But listen, Mike Dub, let me read this super chat and then we'll get to our topic sometime today. What's up, Security Boss? Sorry, I've been absent, been busy with training. Hey, Mike, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for $10 super chat. You get the money line.
I'ma run it every time.
Give me mine.
Going up, need no decline.
Money line.
I'ma run it every time.
Give me mine.
Going up, need no decline.
Yeah.
And listen, I also want to say something to Miss Mills. Hey, Miss Mills, shout out to you. She said men don't have to announce your departure. She's talking about going passport brothers. Just leave. Now, Miss Mills, I would agree with you. I would definitely agree with you. However, However, Miss Mills, when you meet a great man and he fine and he treats you right and he take you places and he put that ring on your finger, the first thing you're gonna do when you get around your girlfriends is do this. Girl! And he bought us a plane ticket. We going to Greece. We gonna travel. You're going to brag about how good you're being treated. So the men, when they meet someone and they say they're going to, and they know they're going somewhere to meet the woman of their dreams, I think it's okay to announce, hey, I'm meeting a woman of my dreams. I'm going to marry this woman. I think they should be able to announce that they're going to do something great.
Well, they can do whatever they want to do. It's okay.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
it doesn't, I don't think it takes away from us, does it? I mean, I don't know but listen, Nurse Fancy, thank you so much. Nurse Fancy, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. She says support. You get the money line.
Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline.
Money line,
I'ma run it every time.
give me mine.
Going up, need no decline.
Yeah. So, Black man, I want to say this because I wish that I could have been there, or there was more people that were willing to tell us how to be married, how to be couples, because I want Mr. Boss to always encourage me. Like if I get lazy, or if I get, if he see me not taking a bath for a week, he'd be like, babe, I want him to be dialed in. I want him to be dialed in, to be like, babe, what's up with you? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be just ignored. And I want us to be that connected where he could say, you know what, my woman ain't acting like herself or whatever. And we could like get it fixed together. We can have a conversation about it or what have you, instead of me falling into a depression or whatever and just not being myself and just giving up. Because I just can't imagine why a woman would, and who knows why, would just shave her head, gain 200 pounds and not be pregnant. That sounds to me like straight up depression. I don't know, but it doesn't sound like a healthy person. You know what I mean? That doesn't sound healthy.
And I just saw something that Mr. L. Nixon said. He said, we try to give you what you want. Like in us, we're simple, but there's too many extremes in appearance and it throws us off, which is correct. He said, after 7 years now, you want bright pink hair and long eyelashes at 43 years old. He has a point. You've been classy your whole life, and then you allow the outside world to influence you. And then once they influence you, you come out and say, baby, you like my hair? And he turn around and you done shaved all of it off, or you got orange hair down your back. And he's like, what the hell?
Yeah. Now, see, Black man, I don't even know how that happens, because you don't let the enemy creep in and influence your woman nor your man. So that's what I'm talking about. You see how easy that happens?
Exactly.
Y'all got to lock the doors and the windows.
And Miss Mills says, I got a fine man, and I'm not announcing to everyone, Miss Mills, you just did.
Stop. Well, listen, Mr. Scotland says, gives us a $5 super chat, and it's the Sheba dog bowing respectfully. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. And L. Nixon, the voice of reason. I think did you just read his?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so his.
No, I didn't. I read the other one. He put one up here that wasn't
okay. It says, we don't mind changes, but we want to still recognize you. Harpo, who this
woman? I know that's right.
Listen,
Dearly beloved,
I'm really thinking. Listen, I'm telling couples now that I'm married, I need y'all to stay dialed into your spouses, because I don't want to ever be entertained by TikTok more than I'm entertained by Mr. Boss. I want Mr. Boss to be my major influence. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But excuse me, I just think sometimes women and men, we get so distracted by the outside influence that we just get carried away. That's one reason why I don't suggest that women be out there that much. But I do know we're dealing in a time where women and men, we have to have two people working, and you got to be real selective in the jobs that you choose and what you're doing, because the influences are so easily out there and they can take over your mindset, especially if we're not feeding it. If your relationship is on auto and you got your woman working at a place and her friends that are working there, co-workers or whatever, and they look like they're just having so much fun, and she got blue hair, and that will influence her to get blue hair. I hate it. But women look for we look for change, not for change. We look for that excites us to change. Like for instance, I used to change the furniture around in my house like literally every quarter. Is that crazy? I did it. Every quarter. I would change the furniture. You know what? And I used to, Mr. Boss used to come home and I'd be like, okay, I need you to change the pictures on the wall because I've changed the furniture. Now I need the pictures changed. And he'd be like, okay. And so he will do it. And then listen, I swear to God, next quarter, I'd be like, you know what? I'm thinking now that this black and white might look better over there in that room. And I'm literally used to change the furniture around 4 times a year. I did. I needed to do that. I can't tell you why right now. I'm gonna have to think about it, consult with my creator and say, you know, what is it in me as a woman that needed to do that? And I just needed some kind of stimulation, I suppose. I mean, I wasn't gonna do no green and blue hair. And you know, me and Mr. Boss, we was together, so I had to do something. So even now, I told him, like right now, my furniture has been this way now for years. So I'm sitting here now. I told him about a month ago. Okay, so this is what needs to happen. I'm getting some new pillows. I need a new rug, you know, and I'm gonna move that picture. I need you to move that picture and I need to put it in here. He just looked at me like, okay, really? You know, so,
we call that a honeydew list.
well, all he doing is changing the pictures, but I do consult with him about it all. And he don't never tell me no. He just be like, babe, oh, okay, God. He was like, pillows, you're gonna have to get some new pillows. I was like, yeah, I want this to be black and white right now. And then I might say, think we need to paint this room. You know, we need women. I'm assuming it's all women. Y'all can help me out, but I'm assuming it's all women we need some sort of stimulation. And I don't do outside influences, so I have to create, my own. And
absolutely,
me is furniture. So let me read Sir Hill. Sir Hill, how you doing today? Hope you're doing very well. Thank you so much for being here. He says most women don't just make that kind of major changes unless there is a depression or a change of life. And she feels like the need to redefine herself. Hey, you're saying the same thing.
He's right. But I would like to add to what Sir Hill just said, because sometimes that change in life is seeing younger women. Sometimes older women get intimidated by younger women. And they say, look at those younger women getting all that attention from every age man, 50, 60, 20, 30, 40. And she got on orange hair. Oh, I got to change up something, and they'll go do it.
Okay, but where is that coming from? That would be coming from some social media outlet, right?
Absolutely.
See, no, I don't. You have to really, I mean, listen, we have to have these hard conversations with ourselves and we have to turn things off. And like I've never been a social media person. So I just always found pleasure in doing furniture, blind flowers and things of that nature. I've never, I don't, you know, I'm not going to, a woman, what she doing, I'm glad for her, but I'm going to be the creator of what I look like. It's going to come. Now, I do have this thing though. Let me read this though. I want to read this. Can I go back to L. Nixon's comment? But I do have this thing. I don't have me a stylist, but I do look at, you know, entertainers and copy their clothing, like how they, I do that now. I'll say, well, I got something close to that in my closet. Let me just do. So I will do that to a degree, but I'm not going to be changing hair color and all of that. So I do, you know, I understand that, but y'all need to, men, I want y'all to understand that we do need that stimulation for whatever reason. He says 100 right, SB, communicate with each other, get sexy for each other. Yes, don't allow trends follow each other's passion for intimacy and affection in your relationship. Don't ever lose it. Don't ever lose it. You know, make sure your woman is, you know, filled with you and whatever you're saying, and vice versa. Ladies, make your man your idol, not idol, but you know, make him the apple of your eye. Pay him attention. Don't ignore your man. And I just think it comes from years and years of ignoring your man. Y'all get so much in the routine. The kids got to do this. The kids got to do that. And the man and the woman just miss out. So
yep.
I do believe that, black men. But listen, where we at now? How much do women really get away with? Okay, so listen, I came up with this, or me and Mr. Boss came up with this because I know you've seen that video out there that is trending. And Mr. Scotland said something about it earlier, where the young lady and her friend guy was in the park and they were kissing and smooching and that new love or whatever.
Yeah, that wasn't her man.
What? Wait a minute.
And that wasn't his woman.
Wait a minute. What you mean?
They was cheating.
No, you mean to tell me all over the done went viral and they did? You got to be kidding me.
That wasn't his woman.
They have
Why you think they was out in the middle of the park in the middle of the night instead of at each other's house?
I thought it was just new love.
Oh, okay.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with new love, but they was out there. They had a new love, but they ain't tell their girlfriend or their boyfriend about it. The realistic vibes, no look. There it is.
Wait a minute. So you telling me that they don't went? Wait a minute. That police officer asked that woman to sign that paper, and she knew she was cheating on her husband and still wouldn't do it.
And that's why she ended up saying, "I signed it. Wait a minute, I signed it." Because what you look like calling your man and saying, "Can you come get me out of jail?" What you got arrested for?
You look like saying anything when you over there up underneath the light. Black man, are you seriously telling me that these people were cheating on their spouses?
Yes.
I'm changing my mind now. I am changing my mind because I'm gonna tell you what I said. Initially, I said me and Mr. Boss was watching, and Mr. Boss is strict. If y'all didn't know, he's a very strict person because we do this every day, so he
Right.
kind of got to be right. But I'm not as strict. I'm like the one that be like, this is not a criminal.
Right.
Why are we wasting our time right now? This is not a criminal. I think we should waste our good hard energy on people that are robbing, killing, and stealing, right? So I said that when he realized they were adults and realized that they didn't have any outstanding warrants, he should have just gave them the license and said, please just be on your way, and take note that the parks in Atlanta close at 10 o'clock or whatever. Because I didn't notice in the film that there was a sign underneath their head. I mean, I don't know what the interest of the exits looked like, but just, there was no crime there. And I kind of equate that to, listen, if some people are going to work in the morning at 5:30 in the morning, they may be going a little fast. You don't pull people over at 5:30 in the morning going to work. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to go to work. Them ain't criminals. Criminals don't get up at 5:30 in the morning, right? So I told him that. He was like, oh, I kind of see what you're saying. But now I know they was hoe-bungering. He should have arrested her ass. I'm done with her now. I'm done. She was all out on that ground. But listen, just in case any of you all have not seen it, we're going to do this super chat. We're going to pull out this video, and we're going to look at this video a little bit here and there. I hope we can just look there straight through, but we'll see. And then we're going to talk about it because the question is, how much do women really get away with? She thought she was trying, but let me just stop because I'm so outdone with her right now. Sir Hell, thank you so much for your $19.99 super chat. He says, respect and support to the great platform. Thank you so much. You get the money line.
I'ma run it every time. Going up, need no decline.
Money line.
I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline.
Yeah. Black man, you done really just put a dent in my night. Because are you really telling me they was cheating on? Come on.
Yeah, that wasn't his girl. That's why he kept backing away from the camera. Hell, he didn't want nobody to see his face.
But she was married to somebody for real.
Yeah, she got a man, he got a woman. That's it.
I am so I don't even know what to think. Let's look at this video. So, black man, make sure you mute out yourself. Let's see.
Yeah,
video. We're going to just look a little bit of it.
Get the video muted.
She's not putting her hands behind her back.
I'm asking a question. All I'm doing is
Put your
asking
hands behind your back. Put your hands behind
Mr.
you. You're
Brooks.
under arrest. Put your hands.
All right. So listen,
I asked you to sign the ticket. You told me you're not signing.
Sir,
Put your hands
I'm
behind your back.
asking you a question.
the video. Let me just give you a gist of what happened on the video. I know y'all might have seen a little bit of it, but
Is this really necessary?
you go ahead and turn it off.
Hold on. Hey, listen, my man. Back up. She needs to put her.
Can I?
All right. So listen, this is what happened. Her and her now I know somebody else's husband was out there kissing in the middle of the parking lot. And the police rolls up on him and says, you know what, guys, I see that you're from out of town. Well, your plates are from out of town, but the park actually closes us at a certain time. May I see your driver's license? And they both gave, the man gave him his driver's license first, and he went and checked it out. No warrants or whatever. Then the lady gave her driver's license. He had to ask her twice now. He asked her twice. She was, you know what? She had a little attitude the whole time, but he gave her a license back. There was no warrants or anything. So listen, the whole thing was when the man came up there, he said, you know, I'm going to give you a citation. Here's your citation. Make sure you, this is your citation and sign the ticket. The man said, oh, okay. He just went, you said, calm me and all. He just went on ahead and signed the ticket and was done with it. He did the same thing for her, but he also told the man, he said, either you sign the ticket or you go to jail. Said the same thing to the woman. She says, she walks up, she said, I'm not signing it. He said, ma'am, you need to sign the ticket. She said, I'm not signing it. What's your badge number? What's your name? She asked him 3 times. He told her 3 times. So then when he finally got tired of talking to her, he said, put your hands behind your back. And this is when it all went south. So you muted.
Remember, in Georgia, it's against the law not to sign a citation.
Absolutely, must be. I didn't know that, but guess what? She know it now. So at that point, he began to arrest her. Now he done already told her, if you don't sign the citation or the ticket, you must go to jail. I mean, it was just so calm and to the point.
Right.
She's like, I ain't signing it. She ain't signing it. Black man. Then when he finally put them cuffs on her, put a hand on her, but then he had to fight and tussle with her. They didn't tase her, but what you call that? They put that stun gun against her a couple times. She just on the ground acting like she about to die. No tears, but she was just on and on and on. So what do you think about this? What do you think? What do you think? How much do women really get away with? What do you think about this, black man? How would you have handled this if you were the officer?
Ma'am, it is against the law to go against what I said. Now, listen, I'm trying to help you because it's going to be a lot of paperwork if I have to arrest you. And I don't feel like doing paperwork tonight, ma'am. However, I need you to go ahead and sign the citation. I've already called it in. I need you to sign the citation. I ain't signing nothing. Ma'am. I'm going to ask you one more time and I'm about to take you in. I ain't signing nothing. All right, put your hands behind your back. I mean, same thing. I would give her an opportunity.
That's what he did too. Hold on for a minute. Let's do this. Hink. Hi, Hink. How are you? Hink says, thank you first for your $5 super chat. He said, at Sir Hell, I encourage the ladies. I'm involved with to not wear wigs because I am a hair puller. Oh Lord. I just walked into your bed.
Look at the hashtag though.
Hashtag bald head hoes lives matter. Stop, Hink. You are a mess. And Sir Hell says, Hink, just laughing at him. Thank you so much for your $4.99. So, black man, I would have actually, like I said, and this is absolutely true. Mr. Boss said the same thing that you did. And we're going to bring this a little closer to home because I'm telling you, I have seen and heard some things in these YouTube spaces that kind of resemble how much do women really get away with. We're going to talk about it because I've heard some women talk to men and say something to other women and just say things, period, that were terrible. And I want to talk about it for a little bit. But I myself, I did not see this as a crime. And I wished that the officer would have just let them know that, you know, the park closes. And I see that you're from out of town, which he actually said, and I need y'all to get out of here. excuse me, and if they would have left, then everything would have been fine. But now that I know she was cheating on her spouse, then she just got what she deserved, and everything is everything. So guess what, ladies? When the officer tells you to sign the ticket or you're going to jail, we're not so cute that they won't lock our up. All right, we'll get locked up.
Dearly beloved.
We'll get locked up. So she thought that she wasn't gonna get locked up, though. She thought that her femininity was going to protect her. Because she didn't get ugly per se. You know, she didn't start rolling her head and, you know, all of that. But she thought that he was not going to lock her up, even though he said that he was going to lock her up.
Right.
He did. So, you know, J Speed says, it's against the law to put your hands on somebody before you tell them they are under arrest. Sorry. Well, let me say this, Mr. Speed. He told them, if you do not sign this ticket,
you're getting arrested.
I will arrest you.
And part of getting arrested is putting their hands on you.
But wait a minute. He announced the consequences. He announced the next the next line of events that were going to happen. If this doesn't happen, this will happen. If that doesn't happen, this will happen. He actually said it. I need you to sign the ticket. If not, you will be arrested. That was the only choice. It wasn't, if you don't sign the ticket, I'm going to tear it off and give it to you and let you go. He let him know you will be arrested. And when she refused to sign the ticket, he asked her, he said, will you sign the ticket? She says, no, I'm not signing anything. And then at that point, he said, ma'am, I think he asked her twice. She said, no, I'm not doing it. So at that point, he started to arrest her. And then at that moment, she said, I'll sign the ticket. He said, no, it's too late. And that's when he started to touch her or grab her arms and put behind her back.
Yeah, normally, you know, I got some smoke for the police for doing stupid stuff because I'm doing a reaction tonight. Matter of fact, after this, on one that was really bad. However, in this case, he gave this woman 6 opportunities. Ma'am, you're not gonna sign it, ma'am. You're not gonna sign it, man. And then as soon as shit got real, I sign it. Oh Lord, in the name of Jesus! You remember that? She started calling out Jesus in the name of Jesus.
How about her praying in the back of seat of the car, praying blood Jesus over him and all of that? You know, I don't know. Again, I wish this wasn't a crime because they got her for obstruction. They got her for a couple of other things. It was like a nothing made something. You know what I mean? It shouldn't have been that way. So, you know, I don't know, but I'm saying to everyone, ladies, when the police officer tells you to do something, we must comply just like the men comply. Because what I'm saying is that I feel like the officer put himself in danger. I really do, because it could have went so wrong. And again, I didn't see it being a crime, but it was against the law because, like you said, their law in Georgia says you must sign or go to jail. So again, you know, but I feel like this. Now you tell me, and I said I know we shouldn't be feeling. I think this police officer is going to get in trouble. And I hate that. Because
well, the thing is, listen, I'm gonna say something that ain't gonna be sexy, and I don't care. Her ass needs to be arrested. Period. If the law says, and I'm not on their side, but I'm on their side today because when you running off at the damn mouth, because if you go back and watch the video, because I've dissected the video, guys. When you go back and watch that video, when he told the guy, sign this here, the guy didn't give him any problems here. But if you look in the background, if Mr. Boss can pull it up, guys, I'm not lying to you. You look in the background, she had already prepared herself to do what she did. She had put her hand on her hip like, nigga, I'm waiting on you to say something to me. You go back and look at the video. Go back and look at the video.
She kind of had that stance because he said, ma'am, can you come over here? And instead of her coming, she did not. She paused. And then he had to ask her again, can you come over here? And then she came over.
Right. J Speed said he's not following protocol. Protocol is, ma'am. Okay, protocol is J Speed. I'm a police officer. J Speed. I'm going to arrest you if you don't abide by the law that is said that you cannot be in the park after dark. I have to give you a citation. Here in the state of Georgia, if you don't sign the citation, it will be an arrest. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. That's now he followed that rule. Then he said, ma'am, if you don't sign it, I have to arrest you. Soon as she said, I'm not signing the first time, he had a right to do it the first time, but he gave her a second opportunity. And he said, ma'am, are you not going to sign it? She said, I'm not going to sign it. He went over and placed her under arrest. How not can you follow the protocol? That's the protocol, ma'am. I'm going to arrest you.
But I don't know what J Speed is talking about. Maybe he can let us know. But I myself didn't feel like it warranted all of this. Wait, let me say it right. I'm talking about the initial offense. When he noticed and he said to them, I noticed you have out-of-state plates. You probably don't know that the park closes at a certain time. Once he alerted them to that, checked their IDs, made sure that they didn't have any warrants or offenses against them, I think he should have let them go. This is just my thoughts. You let them go, because what else is there? If you if a person is if a person is telling you, if he's coming to you and telling you, I know you don't know it, but I'm going to kind of take advantage of you anyway, it's not a good look to do that, because this is one of the opportunities you could have graced two individuals and just let them go on their way.
Right.
Really could have. But that still don't negate the fact that she did not follow directions, and she was being she was out of control, and all she had to do was follow what the man told her, what he did. But that wasn't her man. Now I'm upset about the whole thing. I'm just turned off. So she wasn't gonna follow this man either. So she had a husband, she wasn't following him, and wasn't gonna follow the next one either. And he didn't have a lot to tell her. I didn't hear him tell her not once, go on and sign this thing so we can go. Did you hear him tell her that?
Mm-mm. No, he looked at, she should have followed his lead. See, listen, this is a case of what did Gregory just say? Gregory, I didn't say it. Gregory said it. In the book of Gregory, chapter 1, verse 35, he said, another case made for the Travel brothers. So my thing is, she could have followed his lead.
Yeah.
He signed it very quickly.
Yeah.
But right there, even if they were a couple in new love, that was a red flag right there. Oh, she won't even follow me. She's not going to submit to me. She can't even follow the fact that I signed this paper, so we can just get up out of here.
Right. So listen, OG Speed gonna come up and let us know what we missing right here, because I happen to think that the young man who did the arrest, even though he followed proper protocol from what I saw, you're going to enlighten us a bit more. I still think he has welcomed trouble into his life.
Yeah, what is he supposed to do? I mean, what was he supposed to do? Tell her, hey, could you please get in the backseat of the car for me, please? I'm not going to put no cuffs on you.
I think once she agreed to sign, then he should have allowed her to sign.
Oh, right. Yeah, she said, I signed,
Things can go so bad when you're doing it. See, we're trying to teach young men, or say to young men, look, comply, go home. Yep. She's a woman. We need to say to women also, I need y'all to comply so you can go home, because black man, this could have went so bad. She was on the ground. They was, you're not tasing her, but they was using a stun gun against her. Did you keep hearing it?
You're right. And that's and you know what I would have done? As the man, and I know this ain't gonna be sexy.
He got shot and killed. He couldn't do nothing.
No. I'm saying I know this is not gonna be sexy. At that point, when she didn't follow my lead and she wanted to run off at the mouth and talk stupid, and knowing that we could just sign the damn thing and leave, you can go to court and get that dismissed. Why are you worried about? Anyway, I would have said, officer, is it okay if I leave?
No, he couldn't have left her, because that's a dangerous thing. I didn't even like when they told him to go, because the situation was too volatile for what the situation was to me the whole time. So I didn't want him to leave, I wanted him to see it off. And at the end, they told him to leave, and they were not quite ready to go either. But then guess what? If we were to go, y'all go take a look at it. As the video goes on, the ambulance that she told him to call never came. So there's another something that was done wrong, that was out of the officer's control. So That's going to be enough. Because guess what? Her arm was about to fall off. Her arm about to fall off, right? Her arm falling off. Her head is banged. She got migraines for life. She was scarred. She was PTSD. All of that just happened to her. You understand that, right? And that officer is going to have to answer to that. He really is. And then she I'm gonna tell you how she's gonna get him. She says, what about my back and my arm? He said, I'm taking you to the hospital now. She says, how long is that gonna take? So she's already compiling all the things that she gonna say that went wrong. You don't remember her saying that? If you watch it to the end, she said, and how long is that gonna take? Because I'm really hurting. I'm really hurting. Now we can look at it all day and see that she contributed to all of this, and it didn't have to be this way. Right. She did it. But somewhere along the lines, somewhere along the lines, I think that the officer, considering he works for the public, and this woman was not a criminal. She wasn't. I'm not, listen, guys, I am not for her. I am for the boys in blue. Understand that, but he just messed up. Yeah, I think he has messed up. I don't think this is going to go away. I think this is what the Black Lives Matter. I think that's what they pushing and marching for. This kind of stuff. This kind of stuff, because he could have very well. Y'all are not from here. Actually, that was the first thing she said to him. She gonna go get a lawyer, and the lawyer's gonna make a big deal out of it. She probably gonna get her one of them Black Lives Matters lawyers, and he gonna talk about how, all of that.
Yeah, and you know what? And again, okay, I'm gonna say this: if she get a lawyer, she has a right to do everything that she's doing. Nothing against that. However, all you got to do, ma'am, when it first happened, all you got to do is right, because when an officer approaches, you got some ignorant people out here that don't mind getting with an officer. But if an officer come to me and my woman and say, "Hey, listen, sign this citation," as a representation of me, I'm gonna sign it. She gonna sign it. We'll fight it in court. We're in the middle of a park in the middle of the night by ourselves. And what if this man wife didn't give him none this morning? What if his son pissed him off and he was in a bad mood? We be talking funeral services.
See, I don't know. You've taken a whole different turn. I don't know about that. But listen, let's see what Jay got to say. Jay, how are you doing?
What's up, Jay?
How are you both doing tonight?
What's going on, man?
How you been? I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you.
Oh, trust me, I'm on a vacation away from YouTube a lot, so it's really good to be away from. Honestly, to really get away from crazy people is really what it is.
Okay, so where you going? Where you go to get away from crazy people? I need to hear about that.
Oh, Miss, simple. You do meditation and you go into the park, but not with these. But not. It's funny I say park because
I know
situation where this is it's kind of funny I say that. So you go with Mr. Security Boss, both of y'all. Y'all do a walk in the park early morning or night, and y'all have a great time. Trust me, and just and turn off your phones. That's the best thing I tell you.
Wow.
Embrace nature and embrace your partner, and just the air and the nature around you. So
very good. Very good. I actually think the last time we talked to you, you said that you were getting ready to take a break from YouTube. I actually think that was the last conversation we had. So I'm glad to see you. Glad to see you looking good. But listen, what do you think about this situation here? Do you think how much do women really get away with? What do you think about that video? I know you've probably seen it, and it doesn't have to apply to video because we're gonna make it to the YouTube platforms also. But right now we're on the video. But you can add either way. What have you seen?
Well, actually, I'm gonna respond to the video first. Is what I'll do. That there are many things. There are many ways that could have been avoided, and of course, the lady just could have complied, like she did, like the man did. See, I'm actually. First of all, I have nothing bad to say about the guy in this situation because he actually did what was right.
Right.
Listen, they're both cheaters. Whatever, I'll ignore that. I'm just going to ignore that right now. Don't worry, black man. I know they both accountable. You know what I mean. But I'm talking about in a sense of like him complying,
right?
Not making a hissy fit and just trying to get home safely. As what they're terrible examples, but let's be real. One brother did do the right thing. Get home safely. It's about your safety. Don't worry about trying to turn up against the cops, whatever. Just do what you got to do to get home safe. That should be priority number one.
Yep.
That lady took it to a whole nother level, asking the man questions. First of all, it's funny when I watched it, you said she asked it like 3 times. By the second time, I'm done entertaining. I'm done entertaining the nonsense animaniacs right now. So it's just like, okay, now I need you to comply with what I'm trying to tell you. So we can get this done in orderly fashion. If you can't comply, then there's going to be a consequence. Hence, when the video, that's what the policeman did. Now, that security boss, I want you to point out for me. You said the police officer, like the young guy, he didn't do something correct. I want you to institute that for me real quick. What he didn't do right.
It wasn't me. Actually, OG Speed is going to come up and tell Jay. I didn't see anything. I felt like he did everything right, but he's saying it was something that he did in the arrest. Maybe he arrested her before. He put his hands on her before he told her what she was being arrested for. I don't know.
Okay. So it was probably, if I'm guessing, because I don't want to speculate what you might say, it probably might be like you did the touching of hands first. But if you ask first before you say, like, I need you to put your hands behind your back and things like that, if you're following it, if I'm looking at the video step by step, then I don't see anything wrong there. Maybe I might have missed it. But that's why I thought you found it when you say, I'm gonna have Jay Speed come on and, like, clarify something we might have missed. But I thought you had also saw it too.
No, I didn't see it. I felt like he explained it very well what was getting ready to happen, and she just didn't care. That was
exactly. She turned up, and there was no need for her too. If she had just listened and did everything, that was supposed to be said, she could be getting home safely. They can get back to their cheating scam. I'm trying so hard not to laugh at that. That's so funny right now.
But you know what? Maybe you're talking about this. Maybe what do you think about this? I want everybody in the comment section and in the in the live. Think about this. What if when she complied and said, "Okay, I will," does that start the clock over? Could that be the problem? Because she did say, "Yes, I will," and he took that option away. Can they do that? So that could be what the problem would be. Because she did say, "I will sign," and he said, "No, you don't have that option anymore."
Okay, that might have been then.
I don't know. I remember that happening because she did say, "Okay, I'll sign it." Should that have been the angle? Because wasn't that the objective anyway? The objective was not to arrest her.
Not arrest her, was just to get for her to sign, and that's
yeah. So maybe that was where he might have dropped the ball. But I noticed here, Mr. Scotland says she already got a lawyer. Y'all, this is not gonna go away from that young man. It's not.
I mean,
he's going to end up resigning, or
and he looked like a good one too, right? He looked like a good
one of the good ones, and then we're going to just get rid of him, and then he's going to be jaded now from this probably, but hopefully he doesn't. But it's just come on. I did what was asked of me. I did the rules. I actually followed the rules this time, and it's just like, you're telling me I got to get like fired or resign. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And
let me say this too about that. A big major part of policing is, you have this community policing. You have to use some common sense also. It can't always be about the rules. Does that make sense? Am I saying
right? Because
somebody to steal something.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
What you're saying is, at that moment when she said I'll sign it, he could have calmed down and redirected control of the situation and say, "Hey, ma'am, listen, okay, I'll let you sign it," and then reiterate it, because in the state here in Georgia, when you get a citation, if you don't sign it, you'll be arrested. So I thank you for changing their mind about signing it. All right, sign here. Right. Y'all have a good night.
Well, even better than that, though, when he initially identified that they were from out of town, and he checked their IDs and saw that they had no violations, give the IDs back to them. Hey, listen, guys. Don't be in the park after 10 o'clock. Y'all have a good night.
Right.
See, we pay the police officers work for us. So those were not criminals. And, so we're going to see how it works out. But Jay, go ahead and shout out your channel. We're going to bring one up at a time. Go ahead and shout out your channel. And I'm glad to see you back out here in these YouTube streets.
Oh, thank you, man.
Good to see you. I like to have, man.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, guys, my channel's name is Jay Takashi. We do real world topics over there. I also do anime, but also I've also done a couple of streams for men, and I even do interviews with other people. Like I said, I have to do another one with Black Men Unfiltered. That'll be in the works because I know we're always busy. And like I said, work in real life always beckons me. You know what it is. And the thing, and the answer to Creedbot's question before I do go, so somebody else can come up. Yes, some sisters do get away with stuff, and it's just because we allow them to. But also, and I know we're in a more privileged age for them to utilize things at their things at their leisure. So it's more convenient for them to use those things as to not to use those things to get out of consequences of their actions. And the same can be said of some guys, but not no. You're always going to be a target on you. There's a target on me if I mess up one time, if I say anything one time, that's me. That's the end of it. So I always got to be careful and try. I hate to have to walk on eggshells for people, but You know, it just be careful with your words and be careful with your actions. If you're a guy, if you're a lady, well, you can finesse the system. Well, but hopefully hopefully that starts changing a little bit, and you know, you got to be more tip top in shape, you know, of like your surroundings. But other than that, Miss, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Of course, and I like your advice, because what we really need to do too is put this warning out to the ladies that we're not special anymore. Although I tend to want to pedestalize women, I do think that we're special. I do think that we deserve special treatment, but I don't think we should break the law, and I don't think we should be rebellious. So I don't. I don't think that. I think we should be kind. I think we should comply. And she didn't do any of that. So I probably am not talking to her. But I do think women should be treated a certain way. And she just lost all her privileges. So she don't even get to ride on this plane no more. Get out of here. All right, Jay. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Jay, Speed, OG, how you doing?
You muted, OG. You muted.
Wait a minute.
You muted.
You're muted.
So somebody got muted.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Okay.
All right. So tell us what. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, in yourself. Thank you for asking.
Doing well. Thank you for being here, and I want you to
what's up,
add something to that particular case.
Hey, what's going on, Black Man? I'm 50. Okay.
And then I want you to let us know what you think about the topic. Is how much do women really get away with? So go ahead.
Okay. I had experience like this when I first came to California, and it was one of the worst departments on this earth. The cab. I'm going to say, shop department out here in LA. I worked for the fleet maintenance for the DeKalb County Police Department. So I do know what I'm talking about. All right. So the first mistake, you pointed the finger at it, security department. I'm gonna take this headphone because I'm getting feedback. So the first mistake, you pointed it out. What happened to me is the same thing happened to them. I was at the beach. Certain beaches in California close at a certain time, and certain go over 24 hours. So I was at the beach, which is considered a park. I was at the beach, and the police pulled up. I had Georgia tags, and he pulled up, and he said, "Sir, you know the beach is closed." And I'm like, "No, I don't know that." And then he shined the light at my tag. He said, "You from Georgia?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "If you can show me your driving license matches your tag, have a good night." Exactly what I did. Exactly what happened.
Yep.
Okay. See, you said something at the beginning. See, when y'all say the guy that asked, he was told to sign the ticket, and the guy asked him, "Do I have to sign the ticket?" You got to understand that the lady was over there at the car about 25 to 30 feet away. She couldn't have heard that conversation.
No, but he repeated.
She couldn't have heard that conversation.
You're right, but he.
And so when she came up, so if I don't hear you, security boss, I'm not trying to talk over you. I took my earphones off because I'm hearing the feedback. Okay. I'm not getting this, actually play. And it makes me sound like I'm really on phonics, ebonics. So, I got that Queen City, vernacular that ain't gonna never come out of me. So, but so when he got to her, this is where he made his first mistake. If a person asks you for your badge number, and I don't care if you think they're being facetious, they have a right as a citizen to ask you that. And you have to give that information. I don't care how many times you have to get it, because she was actually typing it in the phone. What could have happened after that? She could have said, "I want to speak to your watch commander." As she's making a report, because she's on the phone with somebody who she knew. All right. She wanted to jog down everything if something happened to her. And that's what we got to do as Black people. And in this time, in this place. So when he said, "I'm not going to give you," again, his superiors are not going to feel too great about that, because that's one of the things you have to do as an officer. You have to identify yourself. He could have said, "I'm not going to give it to you again, but I give you my card," because most officers carry cards and they give to you. Now, let's get to the real point of this. See, when you ask a person for the badge number, sometimes you say, "We're not having a good time. We going back and forth. Could I have a watch commander?" That means his sergeant or a person who's in command at that night. and they come out and they oversee what's going on. Number two, just because the police say he's going to put you under arrest, he has to identify that in words before he put his hands on you. I don't care. You don't get to play foresee this is what's going to happen in the future. Think about what I'm just saying. A lot of times the police can tell you, I'm going to put you under arrest, and don't put you under arrest. So just before you get to touching somebody, because that's called assault, you can't touch people. He could have said, I'm detaining you. If you watch most police, they say, I'm detaining you just for an investigation, and then they put their hands on you. Or they'll say, you're under arrest because you turn around and put your hand behind your back. You see, all this other stuff came before that. See, this is what I'm talking about, the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. Well, sometimes we got to take our emotions of what we think is common sense and not know the law within the way it's printed. Okay? These officers, they are not the law. They are there to enforce the law. And that's what we forget. And if they don't do their due diligence when they're doing something, this is how they lose cases. This is how they lose cases in the court system. No lawyer is going to pick up what was done to her unless he sees some holes in it. And once he's seen holes in it, the way I seen holes in it, or he got more information than me, he going to take this to the max. And I hope that officers don't quit. But I heard something in that tape that officer say to his other officer, you know, I don't play that. You know, she was giving you, if y'all didn't hear that, and didn't you see, there was 8 or 9 officers that came out there and they were trying to discuss what they were going to charge her. See, that's where my brother, who forgets his name, Nate, this is what me and Nate agree along, training. See, if you go be out there enforcing the law, you better know damn well what the codes are. They out there discussing the codes. See, and a ticket or a citation is nothing but a subpoena when you sign it saying you go show up for court or you go pay that ticket. That's what a citation is. It's a subpoena. Because most of the time it has a court date on it. Because every officer has a court date that he goes to court. So y'all got to understand, I'm an advocate for 40-something years, and this is what I do. I work with officers. I work with the Black Association, Officer Association. This is what I do. And sometimes I don't go where we feel about women and what is that? Because you know what I did, Security Boss? I put a video on my channel with 3 white women doing the same thing she was doing. You know what them white women did? They cussed the officers out. She never disrespected the officer. She kept calling him sir.
So what happened when what happened with the white ladies?
Well, I know once an officer tell you you're under arrest, he can't reverse that. He don't have that power.
Oh, so are you saying
that is?
So are you
once he arrests you? Okay.
Hold on. I want to tell you something. So first thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to read the statement that the Atlanta Police Department put out. They said refusing to sign a citation is considered reasonable cause to believe the individual will not appear in court or pay the fine. And the officer may then physically arrest the individual so they can be brought before the court to post bond. They made that statement. They put that out there.
Yes. Now, and what did I just say? I said it was a subpoena to make sure you were going to show up in court or pay that fine.
Right. So listen, the other thing too is she was 25 to 30 feet away. I agree with that. But when she came over, he still explained to her that either you sign or you will be arrested. Now, what he did not say was, I'm getting ready to arrest you, but he did say, put your hands behind your back.
Yeah, but that is a command.
That's what
and if anybody tell you that in the store, you can sue them. And anybody stop you from freedom of movement without the capacity as a police officer who says you are under arrest, man, would you turn around, put your hands behind your back? That is the letter of the law. And anytime you touch somebody before you're under arrest, that is assault.
He didn't say that. So, he did not say, ma'am, you are under arrest, put your hands behind your back. He said, put your hands behind your back. He did. But listen,
let's get in her mistake.
I do think hold on. I do think that he is going to have some pushback on this. I don't know how far it's going to go, but I don't think that he's going to like this. And she's already picked up a lawyer. So you're right about that. Before you say anything, let's read this super chat. Creation Muse says, oh, thank you first for your $4.99 super chat. He said, I hate that ignorance of the law is an excuse, as if we are all lawyers. But It is what it is. You're right. I hate that too, because you know what? He could have just told him to get out the park, and they didn't know. But go ahead, Mr. Speed.
I'm gonna tell you what she made her mistake. Once he told her she was under arrest, anything from that forward could be considered resisting arrest, assault on a police officer, and a lot of other charges that would fall in the federal realm. If you heard of officers while he's in commission of his duty and you are under arrest, that is a federal charge. So this is what I'm saying.
Hey, J Speed. Red Lipstick Vibe says her fiance, Lieutenant James, said he was in the right. The police officer was in the right. He followed protocol. He said J Speed is wrong. He reviewed all videos. He will not get in trouble for that part of the arrest.
Okay. So you know what? When I tell you unfiltered, I don't went in front of 5 police officers in court cases. And now one of them ever walked out of the courtroom without being guilty of what I say they did. I am the first person who started the Ram Park scandal. You want to read one of the biggest scandals in the United States? I am the initial person who started that. So when I hear other police officers or other people who are into what they're into, that's cool and fine. You know, I was in a case one time, and I'm just going to be short.
Okay.
And y'all was talking about when a police give you a command, a police cannot give you an unlawful command. A police can't walk up to you and tell you rob a bank. So you don't have to always follow the direction of what the police tell you. This is what I'm saying. You got to find out what's lawful and what's not lawful. Just because a police give you a command, that don't mean you have to follow any command that's unlawful. A police asked me to get down. It was not a federal stop. He asked me to get down on my knees, and I said I wasn't going to do it. He put his hand on me, and he found himself on the ground. And so what I'm telling you, they know the nation don't play that. Don't put your hands on me before you tell me I'm under arrest. If you tell me I'm under arrest, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to follow all your orders. But see, the problem is we don't got so big in our chest that we think we can. Look, a citizen can talk to a police any way they want to. The Supreme Court have already ruled on that. But a police can't talk to a citizen anyway because they're on a higher standard. And so what I'm trying to say is I got 3 videos of 3 white women cussing the police out, get arrested, and then the police unarrest her without ever taking her to a magistrate or either court. A police don't have that. He don't have that power. Once he makes that declaration and that person is under arrest, that person is a prisoner. And the only person can release that person is a person who can bond that person. And that means a magistrate or either a judge or administrative judge. Y'all don't understand that. This is what I do.
Listen, OG, but guess what, OG? Listen. We want people to go home at night, right?
I do too.
We want people to go home. So let's if it's not a criminal thing that we've done, let's teach to comply so we can definitely have another opportunity to state our case. If there's not one, then there won't be anything that goes on. But we don't want people to, you know, young men to not carry this out as well as you are as an older man and get hurt.
No, security boss, I really want to say this. Everything I'm talking to you on this thing right now as an advocate, I wouldn't want any person to do. But what I do is when I see people pulled over in dark alleys, I get out and I survey it. I make contact to my contacts and we survey it. No, I wouldn't want a young person to do anything to put their life in jeopardy. I'm not that ruthless. Come on now. What I'm trying to say is we just overlooking this case, and I'm saying where I see the officer made mistakes and I see where she made mistakes. In the end, she got locked up. She got exposed for cheating on her husband, which I totally disagree with whatever's going on in her life. But what I'm trying to say is sometimes we have to look at things from what we think versus the spirit of the law. And that's what I'm trying to teach people in my realm, how to understand their 4th and 5th Amendment, Constitution, and everything else. I'm trying to teach them. And as long as we don't know, officers go keep treating us like this. You got to talk to that officer respectful, but then you can have a right to voice what's going on. And so I didn't see anything she ever said was disrespectful. But them 3 white women I got on my channel, they cussing the officer out.
All right. So listen, thank you so very much for coming up and sharing with us. We're going to keep up with it and see exactly what happens. So we're going to talk about it again. We're going to see what happens, but I hope he doesn't get in too much trouble and gets to keep his job. But I think it's not going to go well. I don't know. We're going to see.
No, it's going to go in his jacket. It's going to go in his jacket, but he going to keep his job.
Well, good. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming up. Have a good night. All right. So listen, Kevin C., thank you so much for your $120 Honduran dollar. It says the lady in the Officer Brooks has gone viral all the way to China. This is not a good look, people. It is not. Just sign the citation and deal with it in court. Absolutely. And it probably wouldn't have been a court issue because keep in mind, y'all, they were just in the park after dark. So I don't know. But you get the money line.
Give me mine, going up, need no decline.
Money line,
I'ma run it every time.
give me mine.
Going up, need no decline.
Yeah. All right, so listen, we're gonna be moving this a little closer to home. So, Black Man, are we done with that? Did you have anything you wanted to add to that? It's gonna be interesting to see because she's already gotten a lawyer, so it's gonna be, and they've already put out their statement. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens from here on out. But what you got? We done with her?
I think that Jay Speed, he said what he knew. I think that was what he knew back in the day of what he experienced. I think now that is going to be different. I think it's going to be different because the officer's not going to get in any trouble. I think that they're going to look at it like the woman was in the wrong. Because he asked her several times. Now, I do believe, I don't know the number because I'm not a police officer or a lawyer, but I do believe that when it comes to when an officer asks you to do something, how many times does he have to ask you before he can actively arrest you?
Black Man, I have done videos where I used to recap on my other channel a lot with because it was more of a professional channel, and I have seen police officers beg. That made me so mad. I wanted to smack the officer myself. I mean, 36 times they typically beg people to comply. I'm literally telling you no lie. They typically beg them to comply. So I don't know if there's a rule to it. I don't think they have to do that. And it probably all depends on how that officer is feeling or what the crime is or what have you, or who they're dealing with. But I don't think there's a certain amount of time that needs to be, how many times it needs to be said. I don't think that matters. Oh. Hey, lady, how are you?
I'm so tired. And I'm good. I can talk though.
You work hard today.
Oh, I thought it said you have been okay. No, I just been running around in this hot heat or whatever, but I have to get on. Took my hat off just to talk to you. I don't know his name. He was just almost salute to him, but that was all Cap he was saying. I'm sorry. And he was talking about movie stuff. Like, let's one of these black men go out there and black belt officer and see if he's gonna get away with that without getting shot up. Once you put your hands on the officer, the guns come out. Now, you know me, I keep it 100. I live in reality, not delusional land. I'm not gonna sit there and black belt a cop just over a citation. First of all, the dude she was with was a simp. Man, when you got your women, put your foot down. Or don't get one. Because you look stupid when we watching you. He was just saying, then he going to say, oh, why you taser? Why you have to put it out? Why you have to bring it out? Shout out to my brother, Freak. Shout out to him, okay?
Hey, but
Freely.
listen,
He was the worst one.
That wasn't his woman, though. So he didn't care?
He was with her, lip locking her. He should have told her to shut up. You brought her with you, so it was a date. Put your foot down with it. It don't matter. You with her. You supposed to protect her when she with you, right? On a day, right?
It's kind of hard to protect another man's wife. I don't know how that go. I think when you playing them type games, you know, every man for himself. Don't you think? I don't know. I don't know the rules of cheating.
Oh, she was somebody else's wife.
Yeah.
So she was cheating, right? And that was her. That was still with him. He should have told her to, because what it would have made it bigger for him. I need you to follow me. He should have told her to stop because it could have been bigger for him. And Black Man on Filter, I love you. You be on this stuff. You kind of disappointed me right now because I was like, wait, hold up. He thought she should have done it. Wait. Okay, let me start from the beginning. When he first came, I agree with Freezing. He could have let them got a bypass and said, you know what, get out the park and just gone. But when he stopped, what's the details are important. What's the first thing you saw? He was showing that I don't play type of officer.
Yep.
So when you see one of those officers that do that, and we get those, I don't play. Not the him. Oh, how you doing, Miss?
Are you breaking up really bad,
Oh, you don't play. Those the ones you can.
You keep breaking up right now. So Black Man, that's crazy. But listen, we gonna let her get that together. I don't know what happened to her because it looked like it might have been coming in well, but it wasn't. But we're gonna bring it a little closer to the YouTube spaces, because you tell me all the time you've been, and I happen to witness it too. You've been here. There's been some attacks towards you also. We need to figure out how to figure this. We need to figure out how to treat this situation, because do women really get away with too much? You know, how much do they get away with, and what can be done, if anything? Because I'm asking women, I'm just asking, let's just pay more attention to what we're doing and walk away from the situation. And myself too, let's just walk away. You know, we don't have to always win, and we don't have to, I mean, especially with this woman with the police officer. She went to jail. You know, that's a big deal. So go ahead, Black Man, tell me what you think. You seem like you got something on your mind. Let's share. I mean, you want to?
Absolutely. I think that I have a show coming up on Friday. It's going to be a very interesting show. I don't care who it offends. Because I think in Black media today, I think if you're not Black media if you're not telling the truth. And I think it's time out for us to stop caking and cuddling and coddling, especially when it comes to I'm not even going to talk about the women right now. I'll be with you guys in 45 seconds. However, when it even comes to the men, stop caking, coddling, and not saying anything to these men who are double agents. Men that will talk to you and laugh and have a good time, and then be over pandering to women who have a high level of toxicity. I think that it's time out for that. I think that everyone should be held accountable. I think that on some panels, men come onto your platforms and they hold you accountable. They hold your guest accountable. But then a few days later, you'll see them on Toxicity Avenue, is what I call the platforms out here, where there's multiple women talking about multiple things and disrespecting men on multiple situations. And those very men are either in the chat, or they're in the back, or they're up on stage and they're laughing and kikiing and talking about that. So on Friday, I have a show. On Friday, I'm very much going to talk about this. And the name of the show is How Toxic Women Recruit Feminine Men to Protect Them. And we're going to absolutely talk about that, because that's exactly what happens. We have men out here that are feminine by nature, and they coddle and cuddle women that are very, very toxic. And I think those men had mothers that were toxic because they love their toxic moms. And so now they have to love toxic women, period. And I think it's time out for that. I think we should start telling the truth and start holding.
I don't want to steal your show, but that kind of ties into where we are now, because it says, how much do women really get away with?
Exactly.
And I didn't know, but wait a minute, before you do that, Kevin C, thank you so much for your $30 or Honduran dollar $30 super chat. You actually get the money line. Ooh. Thank you. I didn't see a message. Okay, so let's talk about this for a minute, black man, because you just said, if I heard you right, that women that have not to have bad intentions are recruiting men to protect them. So when you say they're protecting them, you're saying that they're not holding them accountable for things that they do.
Exactly.
Okay, so how does this recruitment? I mean, you talk about it. Tell me, how much do these women get away with?
Well, let's start in the book. Let's start at the first book here, where the first chapter of this book. First of all, you have women that will befriend men, and then they befriend them, and then once they befriend them, they get personal by having conversations that when they're not on the air. This is on and off camera. This is real life and YouTube. They'll befriend the men, and then once they befriend the men, they'll tell them this sob story. When I was young, this happened to me, and when I was an adult, this happened to me, and when I used to be this and I used to be that. I've gone through a lot of things that would make a man feel soft and vulnerable with the young lady. Then once that happens, she's established her dominance because now she has your emotions. Realistic Vibes knows exactly what I'm talking about. She just said, yes, Black Man Unfiltered. Thank you, Realistic Vibes, for that. Amen. But then once that happens, the next thing that happens is when she befriends you and tells your sorrow story, then that she already got you. She can grab your soul, and now she's made you vulnerable. After that, she makes you vulnerable. Then at that time, she will make herself toxic. She will reveal who she really is, and she'll go on a rampage, cussing out every man, cussing out every woman, cussing out, treating men, treating women this way, but mostly men, and we'll downgrade these men. And guess what happen? The men that she's already attached herself to, into their souls, into their emotions, they're going to come and protect her. You want to know why? Because they're going to tell you, hey, listen, man, chill out, bro, man. She done been through a lot. I talked to her, and she's been through a lot, and through that emotion, they're going to justify her behavior.
So even if they witness bad behavior, they justify it?
Absolutely.
Oh, hold on for a minute. Let's do this super chat. Dr. Steele, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. He said, in history, women have been treated unfairly. He says women have been treated unfairly. And then comes women's rights. Today, because of that history, I think society has been giving women too much of a benefit of the doubt. Thank you so much for that. You get you get the money line.
Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline.
Money line,
I'ma run it every time.
give me mine.
Going up, need no decline.
Yeah. So I gotta be honest with you guys. I do think that women are precious, but only if they are precious.
Right.
I do believe that. I do think women are special. I do think men should care for us or take care of us. I do think men should protect us, but only if we need protecting and we have clean hands.
Well, security boss, let me give you this, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, and I don't give a damn because I love that hate because it encourages me to be better and it builds me up. So watch this, security boss, you are to be protected at all costs. Watch this. If you went somewhere and Mr. Boss said, you know what, I got a broke foot, I can't travel. And security boss came to Dallas and got off the plane. From the time she gets off their plane, she's protected by Black Man Unfiltered. She's protected by Sir Hell Speaks, right? And when you get off their plane, we're gonna be there. We're gonna make sure you get through your weekend. We're gonna make sure nobody bothers you, because you are to be protected, right? You know why? Because you're a respectful woman. Women respect you. Real women that want to be married and have family values and have a husband and have a family and want to do something in life respect you. And then you have your haters, the women that want to scream and holler all day and talk about everything about the grass being blue under the soil and Jesus. I don't know. And you have those women that will say those things, but you do have a lot of men that love and support you and look at you as an example of what they want in their life. And so you are going to be protected at all costs. There are women in this chat right now. T. Shaw is in here. Red Lipstick Vibes. Women like that, they're going to be protected.
Lady over here. Yeah.
Janae. Yeah, there's go Janae right there. She's going to be protected. High Value Wives is going to be protected. Family values is going to be. These women that live in their femininity and believe in family are going to be protected. But there are some women out here that they don't want to be protected. And the women that don't want to be protected, They have their soldiers to defend them and to stand guard in front of them to give them their toxicity. Oh, they don't care about the toxicity because she done been through too much. You know, man, just give her a break, man. Give her some grace. And she done cussed out 12 people. Oh, give her a break. 20 people. Man, she done been through a lot, man. You just got to understand who she is.
Okay, but listen, in that, are they trying to get her to a better place?
Hell no.
Okay, so
because they encourage her, because I've seen platforms where men go over and encourage this behavior. They're in the chat, they're on the panels, they encourage it. They're sitting there smiling, encouraging it, having conversation. And I don't understand how a masculine man will sit on a panel full of women and allow women to just say some of the stuff they say, quote the wrong Bible scriptures, they quoting the wrong things about marriage, they quoting the wrong things about child support, and they just sit there and allow it. And sometimes I just sit back and look at my TV and say, Lord have mercy, please cover these niggas, because they don't understand. What are they doing?
So listen, the only thing that you can do for that is you have to embrace those men and just listen to them. Instead of fighting with them, you have to listen to them and see where it is, what we're missing or where they're missing it. But for now, hold that thought. I want to talk to Lady really quick. Lady, let's talk while your connection is good. Go ahead and give us something, because we got other people back here waiting. So go ahead and give us something.
Yeah, I have to turn the Wi-Fi back on. I got back to the. Oh, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay. Shout out to Black Man. You came back. Salute. Came back. You lost me for a second. I was like, oh shit, Black Man. Accountable. What's going on, Black Man? But everything you said was fact. But like I was saying in the beginning, because I keep people saying she said Mr. Brooks. She had attitude in the beginning. Okay? She started using Mr. Brooks when the arrest came out. What's the name of your title again?
Is how much do women really get away with?
Whoop, there it is. You giving her an excuse. That's how they get away with it. When Mr. I Don't Play came out, we seen so much of the BS that goes on with these cops. There's no excuses. When we see Mr. I Don't Play come out, that's when we act right. That's when it come out. Sign a ticket, and Mr. Simp should have told her to sign a ticket, or he shouldn't have been with her. But guess what? You read what you sow. It went viral.
Yeah.
Her husband. Condolences to you. And I want this to go viral to the cop. You did right. You told her, and I'm yelling it. You even told her when she asked, what if I don't sign it? He said you will go to jail. Oh, she goes back and get a pen and paper. Ain't just no phone. She wanted to type it in, and then she asked him 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
The only thing you should have been asking was his badge number, because the numbers. You kept asking his name, you dumb twerk. We're going to keep it 100. You know me. We keep it real over here. You don't go up there with the attitude, walking like you stank because you got in trouble. The only reason why she called him Mr. Britt because she was going out of jail and her husband got to bail her out. Hello. Where's your sound system at? Your soundboard. Where's the shame? Kevin Samuels. What was it at?
Mr. Boss missed that one, but we got you though. But listen, you're exactly right. But you know what? Why do you think, knowing and seeing her situation, why do you think she just didn't sign it initially just to get out of there?
Typical modern woman. We have attitude. Sign. Shame. She's in the park with the dude. Insult. I'm gonna have an attitude. Guilt. Need to be right. You can't make this shit like Kevin Samuels.
I like that, lady. You're right. You're right. Our egos, pride. I agree with you.
Because we broke the whole down before this came from, right? Because shout out to my brother Freezy. No captivity with Freezy. He broke it down, and I was like, he's so right. He's the first one that said we gotta stop. He said your title. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
And all Karate Kid was talking about was getting people shot up, basically, because he can do it. He's an OG. Go let Pookie, Ray Ray, or Bernard go over there and black belt cop. He's not gonna grab for the taser, baby, because you assaulted him. He's gonna grab his gun and he's gonna put you down. I have to get on this because I have to save my black brothers and my black sisters who think they can beat up men. Let me get on and save you before you be in a hospital or on the ground for trying to listen to a Karate Kid. No disrespect. He was spinning facts on his behalf but that's not for all of us.
So listen, lady, make sure we continue to spread that, because we need to drop our egos. We need to end this thing, and we need to be respectful to men and to the authority, and let's let it go. Sign it, let them have it, or whatever the situation may bring us. We can't beat up men, and we can't shake the authority either. So I'm glad you said that. So that was very good. But listen, I got some more people down below. Go ahead and give us your final thoughts so we can bring these others up. So we can end the show for today.
We already read, since we didn't go through it, we already read and know our ancestors went through slavery. We've seen the police brutality. We've seen the Rodney King. How many times we gonna keep acting like we tough to these police officers until we get it right, and then we say Black Lives Matters? Come on now. You really believe that? I'm gonna say Black Lives Matters when y'all not playing the Black Lives Matter card. If it matters, you'll act right. So you did that, so you supposed to get off. When he grabbed your arm, I wish I'd be there because I could be like, he grabbed her arm. He ain't hurting her. He really touched her.
Mm-mm.
You're hurting me. You're hurting me. I can see the part when she started wiggling around. Yeah, that's going to hurt because you're going to bend yourself. I'm an acrobat. I know. Come on now. Let's keep it 100. I have to get on because I was like, this is all cap on the screen. And I'm like, do the chat. I wasn't even really reading all the chats because I was walking. I was moving in. I was acting, but I was just hearing. I was like, oh, no. That's just like, I ain't going to call it out. Like one of those episodes you had, somebody was speaking about something that wasn't real, and somebody had to come and change it up. And you know what I'm
Exactly.
Okay. All right, lady. All right, lady. Okay.
I'm acting like being right now when he came on the chat at the other place, he was like, yeah, I don't have to call out no names. Yeah, he was on fire that night. I feel like him right now.
All right. All right, lady. Listen, don't go anywhere. Stay in the chat if you can. If you're busy, we'll understand those. Thank you so much.
When
you fighting in and out again.
Don't hold the wrong ones. You like they precious, don't hold accountable. You gotta get them, because when you get to lesson learned, you can't say, oh, I signed it. He said no. He taught her a lesson. He just answered your title. Love you.
Love me too. Thank you, lady. All right. Thank you. Lady said, listen, we ain't got to keep talking to him too much. Thank you for that. JT, how are you, sir?
My boy. What's going on?
We are muted.
You muted, Doc. You don't want anybody to hear that.
I am. There we go. There we go. We got power now.
JT, how much do women really get away with? What you think?
Well, overall, they don't really get away with anything because the end results is something different. Is right now what we're looking at is a pretty much an example of what's getting ready to happen in the future. And I mean this by saying this. It's nothing's going to happen to that officer. If you go on that young lady's IG, she's being tormented by people right now. Everyone is against her. Nobody is really, and especially in Atlanta. Right now, you got the city of Atlanta that's actually on the side of that cop. So when you look at the situation, I look at it this way. She didn't get away with anything because she thought that she was going to get away with it. First and foremost, you need to be aware of your surroundings. That park has had problems for 2 years now. They've had shootouts and everything. That's why, it's just like I'm from the Metro Detroit area, and we used to have a park that's called Belle Isle. Belle Isle used to be that park where you can go out and you can stay out there as long as you want. And it just got very bad in that city. Well, on that park, on the island, and people started getting shot. People started getting ran over. All kind of things was happening over there. So at one point they had to make it a state. They made it a state park. And once they did that, the state had jurisdiction over there. And the first thing that they did was put a curfew on there. So you have to be out of there by 10. That ordinance is pretty much everywhere around the world now. It didn't used to be like that. Used to can be just out there cruising because it was women and men, you know, courting each other. That was a place where you go. You want to be romantic. You off the water, and you know. But once you started having all of the riffraffs, that was their sanctuary to go out and drink in public and listen to loud music and twerk. And next thing you know, you got people shooting each other, and pretty much it's just a big fest. She got caught up understanding this, and I'm pretty sure she was the one that was from Atlanta. I'm not sure, but I think she was the one that was from Atlanta. And when you know the laws in Atlanta, it is what it is. Yeah. That cop, the only thing he did was tell him, I'm giving you a citation. It's only a citation. Yep. She ended up, and I'm going to tell you, he could have let him go. He was going to let him go with a ticket. It ain't like, you know, but this was the thing. When she defied his authority, this is what got him agitated. I understood, because if I was a police officer, especially I'm 6'5", 6'6", and the way that I look doesn't even get you to a point where you say, hey, look, this could be really dangerous if this guy, you know, if he started to arrest me and I resist. That's why the man that she was with, he seen it. He was like, look, I just want to have, you know, the rest of my life, I want to have a happy ending tonight. Yep. And, you know, he looking at the dude like, all right, man, I'll just take the ticket because we still got something else that we got to get going on. What changed was when she walks over and just start being defiant for no reason. The only thing she had to do was, look, I have a man right there. If that man that I'm with was protecting me by his behavior, because he was protecting her by his behavior. Now, what if it was the other way and he started to tell that dude, what's your name? What's your name? What's your badge number? What's your name? And just walk off and go get his phone. Where are you supposed to be doing that at when an officer have you detained? You get shot because he gonna be like, what you going to your car for? You don't need to go to your car. Yeah, she was wrong. Listen, I agree with you that she was wrong. And I do wonder why he didn't say, sign the ticket so we can go. You know, but it makes sense now. It wasn't his woman. Yeah, if it wasn't his woman and he had a wife, he probably just didn't want to. I don't know, though. I mean, didn't they know they was being videoed too, though? He did. He did. She didn't care. It wasn't that she didn't know. She didn't care about nothing around her. And if I was that guy, I wouldn't have said nothing. I would have said one thing to her. I would have told her, just sign the ticket. And as soon as she would have gave me lip, I would have stepped back. He was almost that needed to do. He was almost that close to doing exactly what you did. He didn't have much to say, you know. But he messed up. He messed up because he's on the fence. I don't like lukewarm people. You either one way or you're another. You tell her, and I don't care if we was, especially if we was just, you know, we ain't supposed to be out here too. Hey man, let's be low key. This cop come over here, sign that ticket. I can explain that. I can't explain me getting beat up for a woman. I'm married, and then my wife would say, well, not only did you cheat on me, but you messed around and you almost killed yourself for a woman that's not me. That's divorce. That's divorce. That's divorce. The real cheating was that you almost got me as a widow. You risked me for a woman that's not me. Somebody outside of our marriage. It's one thing that you win, you cheated on me, you know, sexually and had infidelities. We'll deal with that. But to do that right there, imagine if that man was to, God forbid, get killed. Yep. How would that funeral look?
I mean, it all could have went bad real quick. It didn't need to happen. I agree with everything you're saying, and I mean, but let me ask you a question though. How do you think this is going to play out? Did you say earlier that you don't think the cop is going to get anything? Everything's going to be good. You think he'll be good?
Atlanta is something different right now. And right now, you got people that's mad. They're mad. They're and you're poking a bear. Right now, we're trying to get unity. What that lady is doing is pushing for division. This is what I mean. These liberals are out here, man. If you've seen what these liberals are doing right now, they're keep trying to put, particularly black folks and women, and trying to keep them in just being a victim. Wow. Keep them in that sense of, no, you can't do anything. You're a poor person, and we got to protect you at all costs. No. You protect yourself first and foremost in what you do especially when you're dealing with people with guns and billy clubs. You conduct yourself just like an officer is supposed to conduct themselves. Right. As a citizen, you're supposed to conduct yourself too.
Right.
They're trying to get home. You're trying to get home. And if all I'm going to get is a ticket, hey man, I either fight it or pay it.
You're right.
I'm not about to sit back and do this. Now she's about to, I don't see it happening where, that officer is going to have a lot of people against him. And even if the because you don't know what the department is going to do, they might try to appease the people or whatever. But if they do, I'm telling you, it's going to be a way bigger. It's going to be more of a protest in our officers' behalf. Wow. People are tired right now. They're tired.
You're right about that. So listen, JT, thank you so much for coming up. Shout out your channel for us. And go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, it's What We Know podcast with me and Rob, my boy Rob. You can catch us on on Saturday nights at 9:30. And we talk about issues just like this. We talk about even marriages and relationships. We kind of try to put everything, no matter what it is we talk about, it always stems around relationships.
It happens to go back there, doesn't it? You're right.
It always stems around relationships, and that's what our channel is about. Everything is about relationships.
Thank you so much, JT. And we're going for being here. Thank you. And you're welcome to come back anytime. So listen, Black man, we've been here a little over 2 hours. We got this last guest, and it is Miss Tyranny. Miss Tyranny, how you doing? Hello? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Go down and come back up because we can't hear you. So Black man, we're going to end it with Tyranny.
Okay.
And hopefully this is a good one. So this might be, we're going to see what happens here. Because, Tyranny like to fight. I hope she's listening. I hope she come back in. And you can give us a good example. But what is it that we can do? Because I do want women to understand that we are going too far. And we have gotten and received too many privileges, and we have lost our way a bit. So we need to dial it back. And it's one thing to not listen to your husband, another thing to not listen to your boyfriend, but you can't listen to the police. That is bad.
Yep. It's just it's just the world we're living in, security boss. Again, I keep saying this over and over again that you should continue to let your light shine. You are the standard. And so you and so many others. And so I think that you guys are the example and you guys should have more light shined on you. I think we're shining too much light on the toxic platforms, the toxic women, and we're not shining a lot of light on you. Right now, you should have 1.5 million. You should have Kevin Samuel subscribers right now. Because yeah, I'm telling you.
I'm a woman and I'm talking about marriage. Shoot, you know how that go. I wish we could spread a positive message to that many people, but hey, you know how it goes.
You got men, and that's the thing. You got men and women that are against the fact that you are the standard of what a woman is. You love your husband. You love building. It doesn't matter what situation your husband's in. There's nothing that's going to separate you two. So I mean, it's just,
you know what though? I'm just an example of that. It can be done. You don't have to be me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just an
Right.
example, because so often to hear a person say they've been married for this length of time and they still like their husband and still like the relationship is unusual. We don't hear it that much. So I'm just an example of being a person that's been married that long. You can proceed any way you want. I
Right.
just want you to do it.
Exactly.
I just want you to do it. I want you to have that covering. I want men to be those men that love us. I want women to be those women that respect and submit and value their husbands. Because I don't care about the passport bros going to Brazil or wherever they go, but I still wanted men to love women here also if they can.
Right.
But I want us to be someone that they can love or that they feel like they can love and trust. You get what I'm saying? Because I would hate for them to go to Brazil and get a dud, because I still think women are women,
Right.
Okay, so Tyranny is here. Tyranny, turn your camera on really quick so we can see, make sure you. I thought you. She didn't have a camera. She don't have it on. Tyranny, turn your camera on, dear, so you can come on up and say what you got to say. Who is this? A little podcast? Is that who's that? Bring him up instead. I don't know what she's doing. Hey there, sir. How are you?
What's going on, security boss? What's going on, black man?
What it is, my guy.
Why is
Chilling,
everybody
man.
in the dark today? Black man, I feel like me and you getting too much exposure.
Yeah.
Are we getting set up?
Turn a light on. That's light.
Everybody come in the dark. Is there something going on that we should know about? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. So what you got to add to this situation? Are women, how much do women really get away with? What do you think about that?
Uh-oh.
I mean, listen, they get away with a lot. But look, I don't feel like doing the manosphere talk right now. Right? I'm trying to be different. I had an episode on my show today.
You sure did. I was there for that one.
Which is still live right now, actually. But I realized during that episode, right, that I was getting kind of away from what I really wanted to be on for a little while at least, which is celebrating black women. Like, I came into this space the same as most other guys, right, to vent. I did enough of it. Growing up, I was fascinated by women, by black women, romanticized them, fantasized them, all of that. The R&B music, the Disney fairy tale. And then, you go through kind of trauma with your mother, and then you have bad relationships, baby mama drama and stuff like that, and it kind of sours you. And you find yourself in a dark place as it pertains to women. But what happens is when you come into YouTube and then you see there's 5, 12, 16, 17, 20, 100 other men, and everybody has the same complaints. And at some point, it's like, well, they don't need me to do that. There's enough guys doing that already, right? Now, don't get it twisted. You watch my episode today. If you go to the middle of it, you're going to be like, well, wait a minute. I thought he said he wanted to celebrate the women, right? But something happened that took me out of that. If you go to the beginning of the episode, I was literally championing ethereal beauty of black women, that you don't have to look European in order for you to be gorgeous.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
In your natural features and your African phenotype.
I agree.
Is the most amazing thing on the planet when you allow it to be that way.
Absolutely.
Right? And then something happened and took me out of frame. But we're diverse people, right? We're not a monolith. I can hold criticism and correction for women when they're out of place, and I can love them because they're beautiful, and love them when they're intellectual, and love them when I see them parenting in a healthy way. And I mean, just sometimes when I watch my lady cook, it amazes me, because I know she worked, and then she cooked, and then she went to the laundromat, and then she had to wash the car, and then she had to pay the bills. And I mean, Yes. Do they get away with stuff? Yes. Some stuff I feel like they deserve to get away with, but not nothing that's causing trauma or pain to other people. That's where we have to draw the line. Everybody can have a moment of frustration, of release. That's one of the things I don't like about YouTube talking points is when these guys try to make it seem like there is no room for a woman to ever make a mistake. It happens.
Yeah.
And we can't talk about having black families and black communities and then what, she sneezed, leave her. Right. Wow. It's a line. It needs to be drawn in the sand. I'm not the one to draw it, unfortunately. I think there are men who can speak to that better than I can, such as Black Man and Sir Hell. I'll leave it to them to draw the line. I said that last night on his show. I can't. I don't know. I haven't made the best decisions when it comes to drawing lines, so I won't pretend that I can. But I just really, three things I really want to come up and say. One, Black women, I love you. I love the one laying next to me right now. I love my mom. I love my daughter. I'm going to offer you criticism and correction, and that's because I love you. That's why I do it. But I'm also going to champion you. I'm also going to respect you and love you, and I'm going to offer that as well on my platform so that you don't have to feel that everything is always vitriol and attacks. The second thing I want to say is salute to you, security boss, and to your husband for being together for so long. I'm just praying that he's also dark-skinned because I'm tired of light-skinned guys winning. Little podcast, y'all know I got to throw a little humor in there too, right?
He's more of a caramel color, actually.
Okay, I'll take caramel.
Oh, she said, "Hey, you heard her?
Right.
You see what she did? Right. Podcast. She said he's more like a caramel color."
Right. She did exactly. And after all this time, he still makes her react like that. That's absolutely awesome, right?
Yeah.
But I do have the last thing, and it is, for me, it's a serious question. I seen Patriarchy was on the show. And I noticed that when he referred to women as mammies, you didn't like that.
No.
And you didn't want him to say that, and you stood pretty firm on that, right?
Right.
And so I wanted to ask, can we stop the Pookie Ray Ray comments?
Sure.
Can we stop referring to men as Pookies and Ray Rays?
Yeah.
I think if we're going, and here's the thing, I'm not just asking this of you. I'm saying, if we're going to ask that the men speak respectably about the women, I think that the women should also be asked to speak respectably about the men. But we keep telling the men that they have to lead, right? So I think as men, we need to lead that narrative and stop calling each other Pookies and Ray Rays.
Right.
I'm a man. So even if I look at who we would formerly know as a Pookie or Ray Ray, I know how he got there. And I'm not going to pretend like I don't. I don't want to judge him from where he is when I know how he got there. I just want to be able to say, hey, bro, this is how you get out of that. And then leave it to him to get himself out of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I can agree with that totally. I don't have to call anybody anything derogatory. I just kind of follow what is being said. I mean, because the other day I was calling somebody hoes, but, I don't really care about that. You know what I mean? I'm just... Yeah. It was nothing. It was just something that was said, but I can agree with that. But I want to go back and say something to you. It's something that I see that I've picked up on, and I like what you said. And I would like to see more men do this. The correction part that you mentioned for the women on your platform. I think all men should do that. In that moment, if you see that a woman needs to be corrected, because this is what I want you all to know that y'all might not know. I realize by just having these platforms myself that sometimes women and men, we say things that we don't really mean to be derogatory. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. Like sometimes we say something that is not correct, but we don't we don't intend for it not to be correct. But if there's a man that's there willing to correct or to bring it to our attention, I think that helps us a lot in that moment and say, hey, look, as a man, I'm telling you, this is not good. I think that would help and that would be beneficial. I would actually much rather see that than calling it out at another time. If it's possible, call it out in the moment. But of course, you don't allow that person to take you down to the argument. You know, there's no need to do that. Let's just call out what you're seeing calmly as a man would do. Because I got to tell y'all something. That's how men move. Now, y'all might not believe that, but men move just like that. Men are not moved or what's the word I'm looking for? They don't waver when women are out of control. They can still get done what they need to get done and move on, because you're basically looking at us and saying, you just don't get it. And if you can tell a woman that in the moment, then she has to respect that, instead of going back and forth with her. You, like you said, she took you off your square, but in that moment, hey, look, what you're doing is disrespectful. That's not how it should be. Even if you gotta write something in the back chat, you know, fade to black for a minute to get that situation resolved, pull that person down so you can get their attention. Whatever needs to be done in that moment as a man to call correction to that disrespect or whatever it is. We got to do that. And
I did do that. The podcast, right?
Don't stop.
Yeah. When I came on the platform, when I came on the platform, she was irate, and the first thing I said to her was I didn't say anything to her harsh. I said, ma'am, I said, hey, I'm Black Man Unfiltered. I said, hey, young lady, I'm not gonna say her name because I don't have permission to do that. I said, but I'm Black Man Unfiltered. I don't know if you know me or not, but listen, I want to speak to you first because I want to lighten the blow here. I said, we need to have this conversation and we need to have it respectfully, right? Lip podcast. Yeah. She went from 100, came all the way down to 30.
Yep.
And she talked and she said, I understand. Now, when I got off and started back listening, she went right back up to 100. I said, damn, Lip podcast brought her down. What y'all did to her?
Understand something though, y'all. We be showing out, and it's all about ego. Y'all got to understand, we're on YouTube. There's a chance that millions of people will see this, if not today, sometime. Right. So we got to win. We got to act out. Some of them I hear a lot of times, I don't know if this is true, but that clout chasing stuff, I don't know about that to be true, but I hear stuff like that. But it would make more sense for me to, I would want you all to correct it. Look, pull them back, fade to black, whatever you got to do. Don't, especially if it's your podcast, little podcast, if it's your show, there ain't nobody got to be on your platform. You don't want to be on there. Hey, look, so guess what? You're going to be back here in time out till you can get it together. And you want to talk to me about it? We could talk about it, but I'm like you, as in it's time, I think, to celebrate men and women. It's not one without the other for me.
Now celebrating those, and that's what I wanted to say to the podcast a few minutes ago, because today you championing women, and I support that completely. And I think we should champion women, and that's what I just said before you came on. I think we should champion the women that are doing the work, such as Security Boss and other women that are in her lane that are trying to do better. There are some women that need to be protected and celebrated, and there are some women that don't even need to be brought up, and vice versa. So I think that it's good when you say Security Boss and everybody lightens up a little bit, right? And then but when you say other names like Chisha Shay, oh my gosh, she on the platform, Jesus Christ. So those are the women that you don't want to give any energy to, but you do want to give energy to these women that are doing the work. Security Boss is one of them, and there are several other women that are under the radar right now. And I think that we need to switch up. I think we need to switch the lineup a little bit. I think that we got the toxic women out front, right, as a representation, and we got the women that are doing the work in the back. And I think that it needs to be a switch up. I think we should shine more light on the women that are doing the work and put the toxicity to the back.
But Black man, even in the fact that you don't get to participate live on my platform is a form of correction. Let them know. That's a conversation that needs to be had. Right. So instead of letting them come up, you say, look, fade to black, you sit back and talk to them. Look, I'm not going to allow you on my platform because I've known you to do nothing but derail shows. Exactly. And I'm not going to let you derail my show tonight. because that's just not what we're talking about. Now, if you don't have a platform of your own, maybe you can visit some other places. And if I pick up on you later on doing the work to not derail platforms, or you have something, that you could actually contribute, then, I'm down with you, because I don't have no problem with you. But don't let them go not knowing exactly what is wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I just so often, and I don't know for sure, but don't you think these people believe what they say?
They do believe what they say, and that's why, again, when we Lil Podcast and for Security Boss and any other person out there that is a YouTube content creator, I think that Security Boss had a great point. I think that when we see them in the back, don't bring them up.
No,
and don't bring them up unless we know they're doing the work, because some people live, or watch this, this ain't gonna be popular and it's gonna light a lot of fuses and blow up a lot of cars, but watch this. Some people ride the coattails of the people that are doing the work so they can counteract and do the negative. Let me explain what I mean by that. I'll come on Security Boss's show and say, I'll come in and derail it. Security Boss, I don't agree with you, and I think that what you're saying, and then as soon as I get off your show, I go start my own live. And I'll tell the people, I'm about to go start my own live. Y'all want to hear the real truth? Come over to my page. Come on to my channel. And I'll get off your page and I'll go start my own live and draw from yours to get mine, because you know what? People love drama. The Hallmark Channel this time of year don't get a lot of ratings. Christmas is coming, it will. But Snapped on A&E gets all the come on somebody.
Not Snapped.
Snapped on A&E gets all the views because it's about crazy women that are out here deleting men. Yeah. Right. And so we have to be mindful about who we are and fortify the circle. That's why I said I made a vow to podcast. I don't know if you heard me on my show. I said I will no longer argue with women. I'm not going to argue with them. Whatever I have to say, I have to say. Either we can agree to disagree. We can go up to volume 25, but I'm not going to go 100. We're not going to be screaming and cussing at each other. That's just not what I'm going to do anymore, because I feel like it's a waste of time. And it's in the time that I'm wasting with this young lady, not young lady, but this toxic monster, I can be over here with this young lady that really wants to hear what we have to say. And there are women that want to hear what you have to say. The podcast, Security Boss and myself, and a lot of women are afraid to come up here to Security Boss's channel. Guess why? Not because they don't like her or they don't like what she's doing. They're afraid because 10 women are saying, girl, we don't need no man, and she's the only one that says, I love my man and I want to be like Security Boss and I can learn from her. But if she knows she come up, they're gonna pull her down.
Hold on for a minute, black man. Our little podcast, you see that message on the screen?
Yeah, I took care of it.
Oh, you good? Okay, I wanted you to go if you needed to go, but I wanted.
Nah. It's like for real. Like I want to make sure I said something like real quick. So the sister who black man is talking about, ironically, is not the same sister that I'm talking about. It was a whole nother episode on the show after you left. Yeah.
Wow. I need to see that.
But listen, guys, I just think that you guys are very strong men, and there are a lot of you. I do think that y'all should approach it this way, but if I can ask that you do it in love. I do know sometimes it may be hard to do so.
It is.
Because it can be them tongue lashings are hurtful. But if you're doing it in love, they'll understand that it's about them and less about you. You kind of get what I mean by that?
But because I'm gonna tell you, if I could tell you, I think one of the issues is, right, and I know you didn't even mean no harm when you said it, right? But you said, like, this is how men move, right? Okay, so when we look at our women today, do they move like how men used to move, how women used to move? No, but they want to be accepted all the same, right? Guess what? There is multiple generations of men who were raised by a bunch of women. I'm one of them. My grandmama had 10 kids, 4 boys and 6 girls. 2 of the boys was dead and gone before I was even born. So I was raised by a bunch of women.
But
so
look,
with that being the case, I'm more.
You're talking too fast. I want you to slow down just a little bit. I said that's how men move, meaning men in your spaces.
No. I'm talking about when you said men don't
go back and forth with women.
Yeah, but it was something you said specifically earlier about how, you know what I'm saying, like we speak a certain way. We stay calm, right? We stay calm.
You try to stay calm. You in other words, you own the spot. It's your spot. But you just made a comment when you said, but do women move like men, like women used to move? That I want to talk to you about. I want you to tell me what is the difference, because a woman is a woman. So you tell me what's the difference, because I can share with you and let you know they're the same.
So I have aunties, right, that are very soft-spoken, very feminine, deeply rooted into their religion. That is the foundation of everything that they do, right? And then I have other aunties and nieces, right, that are modern women, ain't traditional by nobody's standpoint. Okay,
Right.
it don't matter if they married, they still run their households. You see what I'm saying? It don't matter if the man is paying the bills, they still hold the whip. You understand? They have mouths on them. They ain't nobody soft-spoken. You understand? But they want to be accepted as that, all that strength. And if you can't handle it, you a weak man. If you can't handle me being strong, right? Them being uncooperative and vulgar even at times, right? So that's what I mean when I'm saying they work more, they focus on their careers more. And it doesn't matter if the kids suffer more. Listen, I have to chase my dreams as well. They're different from what was done before, where the women were more focused on family. We've seen that if you noticed if you saw the Andrew Tate short, he said he went to his grandmother's 93rd birthday. There was 70 sentient beings in that room that all came from her. Nobody asked her what she did for a living, what was her career, how many purses she had, what club she frequented. The pride was in the fact that there's 70 people in this room that came from her, from kids to grandkids to great grandkids. That was her legacy, not her career. So when I say the women move different, that's what I'm saying now. They're more modern versus traditional, and they want to be accepted as that. They don't want to go back into the kitchen or into the bedroom, right? They want to be able to chase their dreams, chase the bag, go on girl trips and do everything else, but they still want the same love. They still want the same equality, which they really mean privilege when they say that. They still want to be victims when they want to be victims. They want to be equal when they want to be equal, and they want privilege when they want privilege. And they want to be loved, and they want to be seen as women regardless. What we do is anything that we deem out of character for a man, we challenge his manhood for it. He's emotional, so he's less of a man. He don't make $100,000 a year, so he's less of a man. He ain't 6 feet tall, so he's less of a man. He don't have 12 inches, so he's less of a man. Everything is a challenge to your manhood. We don't challenge women's womanhood. Even when we're correcting or challenging their behavior, we're not saying you're less of a woman. So what I'm saying is, when I say that, so just to make sure you understand, is that there's a traditional woman and then there's a modern woman. The modern women still want to be accepted and loved. And what I'm saying is we have to be gracious enough to realize that there are several generations of men now that have been raised by majority women of women. They're going to be a little bit more emotional. They're probably going to argue a little bit more than a manly man would, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? I'm that way. I want to argue until we come to a solution. I don't want to go to bed, you know what I'm saying, with this same thing lingering over us tomorrow. Whereas my lady, she like, look, we've been talking about this for 2.5 minutes. Life goes on. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on. So I'm just saying, like, let's just accept the fact that we live in a different time, man. If we can accept trans people, I think we can accept emotional men.
Well, I agree with that. I'm not telling you not to be emotional, but I just think it comes along with respect. I'm telling you, if a woman,
I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, if a woman doesn't respect you, she doesn't deserve your attention. That's all I'm saying.
Point. I've been hearing that a lot.
Listen, I don't care if she's modern, traditional. It doesn't really matter. She just needs to respect and value you for being a man, and then you decide how you want to handle her. Whether you give her your attention or you give her correction. Like, you've already decided that these modern women going to act like this, this, and this. So you may not even want to waste your correction on that. You know what I'm saying? But you decide. But listen, Black Man's got to go in a few minutes. I want to say hello to Tyranny real quick. The Blue and Ebony, how are you? But Tyranny, how you doing?
Can you hear me now? Yeah. Dang, now you can. What I was trying to say. Okay. What I really want to say was that it really sucks that you guys are trying to blame that Black woman for what she did, because this is how I feel. Back in the day,
hold on. I need you to speak. Wait a minute, hold on. I need you to speak slow, and I need you to say what you just said over again, and I want you to hear yourself. Speak slow and say it again.
I don't even remember because the kids were distracting me. But what I was going to say,
start over and speak slow. Go ahead.
Okay. So back in the day, men used to fight for their families. Death was not a fear because their honor was something that they took honor in. That's why back in the day, they talked about their bloodline. And they were able to be proud of their bloodline because they were like, you know, my uncle died a soldier. My grandfather died a soldier. He died protecting his family. He died protecting his kingdom. Now, a lot of men are saying, I ain't gonna die. You ain't gonna see me do that for my family. I'm gonna sign that ticket and I'm gonna just go on my way. That's the problem. We are unprotected.
No, ma'am.
We are
No,
unprotected.
Ma'am.
No, come on, I said here next to everybody talk.
Yeah, I can't let that happen.
Okay, what all that black lady did compared to a ratchet chick, there's no comparison. The black lady not only had her head covered, which showed that she knew who and what she is spiritually. When she seen something that was wrong, she spoke up about it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with speaking up. That's what adults do if they see something they don't agree with. She politely said, I don't agree with this, and it's law that you can get the officer's name and badge number. Caucasians do it all the time. When she asked him for his name and badge number, he gave it to her twice, but he seen that she was not focusing. Okay, because the first time he gave it to her, she was walking off. She wasn't arrested. She wasn't detained. Neither one of them. And actually, I'm pretty sure a lot of us has gotten pulled over, and you do not have to sign a ticket. You do not go to jail if you don't sign a ticket.
Ma'am, you're
wait a minute,
ma'am, please. Security, please let me.
I will, but let me just clear her up on a couple things.
Please,
when you initially started, you said, I can't believe that y'all are blaming this woman for what she did. I needed you to hear that because you said it just right. You said, we are not blaming this woman for what she did. We absolutely are blaming a woman for what she did, just like somebody would blame me for what I do. Because that's what happens. When you become an adult, you get blamed for what you do and you have to take accountability for it. I heard everything
did nothing wrong.
She did do something wrong. I'm going to tell you how she did something wrong. Yeah. Wait a minute, black man. I'm going to let you have it. Let me tell you what she did wrong. In that particular state, it clearly states that if you do not sign your ticket / citation, you will or can be arrested. She refused to do that and she was arrested, and that's for that.
It would have got thrown out of court because she's not even from that.
You're exactly right. You know what? You're exactly right. And if you would have been there at the time, you could have told her your behavior is not smart right now because this will be thrown out. And you could have protected her.
She did not overreact. She didn't curse him out. She wasn't shaking her neck.
She did not.
What's your name? What's your badge number? Then he proceeded to tell her that you're going to go to jail. And then her boyfriend was like, babe, just go ahead and sign the ticket. And then she stated again, but this is not right. So the black man, the cop, who was completely wrong, this is the opportunity for us to stick together. And when we have the opportunity for us to stick together, then Toby over Kunta kicks in. Toby said, I'm going to go ahead and take you to jail. Where Kunta would have been like, y'all not from here. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all have it. It's a warning.
Can I talk to the president?
I feel like, let me just finish it.
Let her exhaust herself because I don't want her on the side of the road thinking that she's right when the officer's already told her she's wrong.
Yeah, I want to talk to the president.
No, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. No, listen, nothing with questioning someone about what they're doing. There's nothing wrong with questioning.
There's nothing wrong with questioning, but when they've already told you the rules and what the law is, you have to comply or you will go to jail. And that's what happened to her. And I just don't want that to happen to you. So don't
She wasn't getting a ticket. He was getting a ticket and she questioned the ticket.
She's so misinformed. Ma'am.
Now go ahead, black man. Go ahead.
Ma'am.
I like to call ma'am. Don't call me
ma'am.
Don't call you ma'am?
Tyranny.
Oh, you don't want to be called ma'am?
I want to be called Tyranny. I would call him Black Man. I don't know his real name. I call him Black Man. I call you Tyranny. Just keep going with what you're saying. Just call me Tyranny.
Okay, yeah. Wow. Listen, I want to say this to you. You said two things that stuck out to me. You said that she had something covering her head that was religious. The first thing that covered her head was a wig. It came off. Second thing is she didn't have anything. Hold on. She didn't have anything. But look, listen, let's talk about this. If she did have something covering her head and she was religious, and even if she was in the Quran or even the Bible says that you are to obey the laws of the land. So she disobeyed what she believed in. That's the first thing. Second thing is you said men should die for their women. Back in the day, yes, they had an opportunity to die for their women in situations, but it's not going to be here lies black men unfiltered, shot 5 times by the police over a damn citation that I can get canceled out in court. What
a black police, a black man.
It doesn't matter.
A black man. Y'all, he should have never did that.
Tyranny.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tyranny. This is what I'm saying to you, Tyranny, right? What I'm saying to you is you're misinformed that you think that both of the people there were being ticketed. He was being ticketed and she was being ticketed as well. The man for being in the park in the state of, this is what I wanted you to research before you came on.
In the state of Georgia, verified they didn't live there.
Tyranny. In the state of Georgia, if you're at a park that closes after the park closes, it is against the law to be in that park. So when the police come, they have a right to write you a citation. The law also states after they write you a citation, if you don't sign it in the state, I want you to get your phone out. I want you to Google this real hard. And
I don't need to Google it because black men need to do the right thing. How dare he give them a ticket and they're not even from that state?
Wait a minute, hold on. Y'all both can't talk at the same time.
Tyranny, I'm trying to speak
at the same time.
Tyranny,
I mean, but they talk for like 20 minutes each. I say something for 2 minutes and I'm like, cut her off.
Tyranny, I need you to listen to me, okay? Just for a second, okay? Just for a second, honey. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I need you to be listening to me for just a second. In the state of Georgia, the law is if you're at a park, a state park after hours, you will be written a citation if the police catch you. When they give you a citation in the state of Georgia, no matter what the citation is, if you refuse to sign the citation, the law states that the police officer will arrest you and take you to jail. That's the law.
That doesn't matter. He's a black man. He should have stood for his black people. He should have gave them a warning and they could have let them keep it pushing. But what he wanted, hold on. But what he wanted,
black man, hold on.
Jesus Christ.
So Tyranny, let me say this so we can come to have some kind of flow of conversation. I agree with you that he did not have to give them a ticket initially, but everybody is not on this on black code. Some people, especially police officers, they operate more on character because that is his career. He's not going to sell out himself for someone that is doing something that is against the law, right? And the
cop would have not got fired or anything if he would have gave them a warning.
Listen, I agree with you that he could have, because they were not criminals. I said that from the very beginning. He could have let them go, but guess what? He chose not to. But guess what? That doesn't excuse her behavior, as in her rebellion not to listen and obey his authority.
She said, sir, I'll sign the ticket. I was just asking, sir, I'll sign the ticket. She said it.
Tyranny,
sir,
she had said no. She said no initially.
Right, Tyranny.
It's okay. It's okay. She said no initially. If you're gonna have that much authority, you can't have that much authority being a bitch. You have to understand that with authority comes power. Hold on, and many I have been pulled over by Caucasian men. Hold on. I've been pulled over. I promise. I've been pulled over by Caucasian men with a tail light out, with no insurance. They'll let me go with a warning. He pulls these people over and not only gives them a ticket and threatens them with arrest, then he acts violent with her. Like she said, sir, you're hurting my arm. She's even looking at him like, what is really going on? In 2022, and you still kissing your chief's butt?
Tyranny.
Oh, guess what? Wait a minute.
Let me ask you a question. Just one question, security boss. I swear to God, I'm done. Tyranny, what would your man would have done in that situation?
That's why us women gotta choose wisely. We can't choose a man. We can't choose. Well, whatever man that I choose,
Oh, you don't have one. So that's what I'm talking about. We
I
can't
said
say what
whatever
men
man I
would
choose,
do
which means I got
if
options.
we
I ain't
don't
made no
have
choice.
one.
Stop acting like I can't get a man because I ain't got one. I choose wisely. I've been through the bull crap. Now I've learned to choose wisely. Applaud to me. But whatever man
So
that I
if you
do
went to the
choose,
park
we're gonna have to
today,
be on the same accord.
ma'am, but what I'm saying, if you went to the park today after hours and you took your kids with you to the park and the police pulled up, who would be there to protect you?
God, he gonna have to protect us anyway, because y'all
Right.
not
And guess
y'all
what,
not
God-
protecting us.
Right.
Man,
And
hold on for a
guess
minute.
what? When you go to court, they're gonna put your hand. The only time God gonna show up is when you put your hand on the Bible and say, I do solemnly swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
They're gonna dismiss that case because they're not even from that state.
But that's fine. Well,
You know
okay,
what,
you made my
You know what
point.
I'm saying?
You made my
So
point,
you
ma'am.
even have to write them a ticket because it's gonna get dismissed anyway.
Right.
That's
So
not,
why
that's
didn't you
not the
just
proper,
sign it?
that's not proper protocol what you're talking about though. So guess what? Everything you say may be correct, but let me tell you something.
Help me, Lord.
You cannot fight the law based on a feeling. Just because you feel like it's incorrect, there's still a proper way to behave. There's still a proper protocol. Let them throw out the ticket, walk it out, be that citizen that walks it out. Because one day, those officers that you're talking about that did this and did that, they may be in your favor one day, and you be like, you know, I'm glad you handled it that way. So don't dismiss what their job is. She should have signed the ticket initially. He actually told her, sign the ticket or you will be arrested. She decided that she was going to take over the situation. She was wrong at that point.
She didn't do, what did she do to say she was going to take over that situation?
By not signing, by saying I'm not going to sign was her trying to take over the situation.
You don't have to sign a ticket. That's law.
Tyranny,
Okay.
actually, no, it's not law. Tyranny. Do you think
Yes, it
hard-headed?
is.
Tyranny? Do you
Not,
think
not in Georgia. In Georgia, it's the law. If you
Right.
can be arrested if you don't.
Right.
That
She
is
didn't
their
look it
They're
up.
law.
not from that state. Honestly, all of this falls into that black cop's hand because he had the opportunity to take this left or right,
Let me
and
ask you
he
a
went
question.
left.
Tyranny, can I ask you a
We
question?
sick of y'all not standing up for us. We
Tyranny,
need
can I
y'all
ask you
to
a
hold
question?
on. Yes, ask me a question. Go ahead.
Do you believe hard-headed women deserve to be protected?
Hard-headed women deserve to be protected. Anyways, the black cop was wrong. We're not going to sit here and blame this woman for
I
anything.
move
He's
to have
hard-headed.
this
He
case
was hard-headed.
thrown
He
out.
was hard-headed because y'all want
I
to
rest
kiss
my
the
case.
Caucasian butt so much that you forgot that you're supposed to be our backbone. You're supposed to stand and fight for
Ma'am,
us. Hold on.
ma'am,
When are we going
your
to
future
get
husband may
out
be
of this
watching this.
whirlwind? When are we going to get out of this whirlwind of having to follow behind the Caucasian? When are y'all black men going to stand up again? Damn, y'all can watch Wakanda, but you can't act like Wakanda. We going to forever be in this place.
not a
Y'all
real
gotta
place.
stand
Don't
up
say
for us.
nothing else. Don't say nothing else.
Okay.
Tyranny. You got to be responsible for what you are or who you are. And that young lady had to be too. She was wrong. She was out of order. And if you continue to be out of order, you will have to pay for it, either today or on the side of the road. So you need to think about what you're saying. You have to get in control of your emotions. That police officer was doing his job. He chose to do it that way. I don't necessarily agree with what he chose to do. I do think he could have let him go initially, but when he chose not to do, it was up to her to do the right thing as an adult woman. She chose not to. And it was just that simple. But I want you to make sure that you're thinking about what you're doing and choosing the right decisions whenever you come to a conclusion like this. It's not always about what you feel or what you think is right. A lot of times the law can get involved and the law is the law. So just make sure you are very careful with that and make sure you're thinking through the situation, because I don't want you to be arrested because you feel like the person is wrong. It's a law that comes behind all of this.
You know, when Steve Harvey said that it's his job to do his job, and they told him they was going to pay him a couple of $1,000s to talk like a monkey. Like Monique said, you could have either did that job or you could have held your pride for your people and said, I'm not acting like no motherfucking monkey. What that cop did was act like a motherfucking backbone.
Lord,
Yes, he did. Because you know why? Because this was his opportunity to say, I'm going to stand for people. And he didn't. He failed.
He may have failed, but Tyranny, character is very important. Character is very important. And she didn't show any. She didn't show any character. She didn't show any.
She didn't curse him out. She didn't curse him out. She didn't spit on him. She didn't do anything.
You don't have to curse a person out to be disrespectful towards them. He asked her to sign. Why couldn't she just sign? Tell us right now, and then I'm gonna let you go. But tell us right now why did she not sign, Tyranny? She was asked.
Because she didn't agree.
She didn't agree. Okay,
so we start doing everything that the law tells us to do.
I agree with you. She didn't agree. The only option you have when you don't agree is for them to arrest you, and then you go downtown and let the judge or the magistrate explain it to you. So there you can understand them better. That's the only choice that this particular state has.
It was just a black man trying to show her a lesson, because like even said, sir, I didn't say I wasn't going to sign. I'm going to sign. And then he said, oh, it's too late for that.
Ma'am,
It ain't too late for her to not sign the paper.
Ma'am, we love you. We love you as a black woman. Right now,
I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I'm just telling y'all, stop putting blame on black women when y'all are the leaders.
I just said we love you. I said we love you as a black woman.
I didn't ask you if you love me. I didn't ask you all of that.
Be quiet for just a moment. Black man, thank you so much for being here. I know you got a show you got to go to, so we'll see you soon. Thank you for being here.
I'm about to go do my reaction video.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you for that. Tyranny, do you got some last words you want to add to it? Because Tyranny, you want to stay here for a moment, Tyranny?
Do I want to stay here for a moment?
Yeah,
sure.
Okay, so I seen your little podcast. You need to go, or do you?
No, I'm here.
You here? Okay, so we're gonna bring up. Go ahead, black man. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
See you later.
Talk to you soon. Okay.
All
right. So we're gonna bring up Daryl Law.
Yeah, black man, he finna do his own show.
Daryl and Bolo. We're gonna bring them both up because we're gonna end this thing really soon. So go ahead and bring them both up. All right. So I don't know who was there first. Was it you, Daryl?
Bolo. I think it was Daryl. Let Daryl go first.
Okay, Daryl. How you doing, Daryl?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being here.
I appreciate it. So I wanted to say this, security, I always tell you the reason why I mess with you is your transparency, right? You always talk about how you had a husband before, his lack of leadership, and not just, him not providing, but really his mental instability, I would say, and some of his choices, right? Or not his mental instability, but just, I'm sorry, but let me just say this.
You might be confusing me with somebody else, but I understand where you're going with this.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
But you let women know you can always bounce back from those choices and be the boss that you is right now. You're married, right? You are a representation of your husband, right? So
25 years.
27 this year, November 14th.
27.
Oh, damn. You've been married for 27 years? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Shout out to your husband. I think that one of the things that women got to understand, like Tyranny, that there are good black men out here. Because one of the things that I'm happy that you don't do after that situation is you didn't carry that pain. Black men not shit. I'm sorry, let me not say that word on your show. Black men are degenerates. Black men can't lead, because I saw what happened with podcasts, and I hear podcasts speak like about this situation before. Men get treated like all the time. Like, I'm a single father. Podcast, I've been misrepresented all the time. You know what I'm saying? It happens all the time. But the one thing I would say is this, bro, is we got to learn how we react to stuff. You know what I'm saying? Tyranny, I've seen her tick men off and make men fall off their fucking, just move off their fucking cliff, bro, and just act like females. So, I'm sorry. I'm trying to speak, very genuinely, but Tyranny, the first time I met Tyranny, I told her, men like me, I talk about postpartum depression. I talk about men leading women. I talk about black men really taking political power seriously, so we don't got to say shit like, well, gay men got more power than us. Well, when the last time you voted? When the last time you talked to an elected official? Right? You want to be real men. When the last time you actually did things that real men do? And podcasts, and I was talking about child support the other day. Well, not child support, but men having custody. And some of the men was making excuses. And I was telling them, I got custody of my daughter, and I'm not on child support or nothing else because I'm proactive. See, we proactive about getting money, right? Security.
Mm-hmm.
We're proactive about who we keep around us. We're proactive about going at our enemies. We're proactive about our brand. We're proactive about everything we do, but we're not proactive when it comes to vetting properly, when it comes to self-reflection, right? As men, when it comes to actually doing the things men need to do. And that's why I'm going to kick this straight to BOLO TV, because we can sit and make like 1,000 excuses, but what are you doing every single day to change your situation? That's the only thing that matters. And that's why, like, I really rock with you, because I see a lot of women that come from situations like your previous one, and they say, well, he couldn't lead. I'm not gonna find a man that leaded. But no, you got this glow to you, and you seem very happy. And I just, like, I had to believe that at one point you was down. Can you talk about it? And you had hope, and that hope led you to this point where you at right here on this stage with us, married for 27 years. That's the kind of hope that podcasts and other Black men and women need. Maybe even Tyranny, or maybe I'm just a hopeless romantic. That's how I feel. That's the only reason why I came up here, just to say that.
All right. Thank you, Daryl.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
I'll see you
Bolo.
later.
Bolo. Doing pretty good. You kind of fading in and out there, though.
I apologize for screaming. The thing I want to say to what Daryl said pertaining to you did AAA, right? AAA was acknowledgement, acceptance, and application. Acknowledgement meaning you acknowledge where you were wrong and you put yourself in the place that you were in. Acceptance the ramifications of your decisions. And in between those two, there's a learning curve where you become.
You went out, Bolo. You went out. We're going to kick you down and come back up, Bolo. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, so Tyranny, did you want to add something else, dear? Where are you at? Why are you not on camera? Okay, there you go.
Know what?
Tyranny? I can't hear you.
BOLO TV, the village joined.
There you go. Can you say, I can't hear you? I don't know. Let's try Bolo. Okay, got you. All right, see what Bolo can come back up and see.
Hello.
All right, Bolo. Yep, there you go.
All right, I'll be forward. I'm struggle streaming, man. I don't know what it is. Okay, we talk about coaching, right? The coach will always say, don't leave the game in the referee's hands. Do what you can do to win the game. Control the controllables. That's the first thing. The law. The reason why in Atlanta they make you sign that ticket, it's a contract between you and the state saying that you will appear. If you get arrested, then what they do is they make you put up collateral to get you to come. So this is the reason why they tell you need to sign it. It's not an admission of guilt. It's just a contract saying that you were here, something that you go into with the state, and they can take it further if you don't sign it.
Right.
The last thing I want to say before I jump off is, and I said this before, women want the authority of a man, and they want the privileges of a woman and the accountability of a child.
Yeah.
You can't have those three. She wanted the authority of a man. You have to understand that you cannot deliberate or delegate what's going on with the law. No, you take that to court. You take it to court. Now, if you have the man that's there, she put him in a very precarious position.
Yep.
Because now when he's grabbing her, he doesn't understand that whether this dude is going to jump on him or not.
Mm-hmm.
So you put both men in a position. Both. Now, this man, you have to understand why she took that position. She took that position because of the authority that these women have today. And when she's seen that authority didn't work, now she wants the accountability of a woman. Now she wants to back up and say, why are you doing this to me, sir? No, I'm chill. No, I'm good. I'm Gucci. I don't even want to. We're past you signing at this point. We're past. This has nothing to do with the black man here and a black man there. And this is what Tyranny was trying to talk about, is the accountability of a child. So now she doesn't get punished for what she did, right? We now have to say, well, the black men have to stand up. So you want me to lose my life for something stupid that she's doing?
Right.
Nursery Bob. Nah, I'm good. You need to arrest her. Do you need me to grab the other arm for you to put the stuff on?
Yep.
People need to understand the position that they put other people in.
You're right. I agree with that.
She didn't understand it, or she didn't give a damn. It's those choices. Either she didn't understand or she didn't care. And when she seen that it went out of control, that's when she decided to say, no, Mr. Whatever she said, no, Mr. Officer, whatever she said.
Mr. Brooks.
Mr. Brooks. But you wasn't saying Mr. Brooks when you were writing everything down and walking away. First of all, she should have got tased when she walked to the car. That's first and foremost, because I don't know what you're pulling out.
Nope.
But see, that's the authority that we give women. Because if a man would have did that, walked to the car, he would have got shot.
Yep. Straight
up. He would have got shot. But because you can walk back and forth to the car, you're so caught up. Women are so, and this is sad for me to say, that y'all so used to losing. Y'all know when y'all winning. You're able to walk back and forth, argue with the guy, and don't even know you winning until, okay, let me put the cuffs on you. Now you want to know, okay, I lost. It's too late for that. So we have to start taking accountability for the decisions that we make and start owning up to certain things. And if she wants to talk about Christianity, the scriptures does say, render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and render to God what belongs to God. Follow the laws of the land. So if he asks you for your license, give him a damn license.
You're right.
You made something simple that you could have both walked away from. Now you're going to jail. And here's the fallout. That man's going to be looked at as a punk. He's going to be looked at as weak. Because she's going to be expecting him to jump on the dude. So now he can get a felony. There's no way you can win in that situation.
You're right.
There's no way. She should have followed suit. So with that, I'm going to say thank you, SB. Say what's up to Mr. Boss and everyone else in the chat. Good night. Love you. I'm out.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Bolo. All right. Have a good night. Little podcast. All right. So listen, we were in the middle of an outstanding conversation. So I'm going to end it because I know you got something going on over there, but I appreciate what you had to say.
Oh, cool.
And I agree with you. But I enjoy the fact that you are champion women, but I still think that, and you didn't say you wouldn't, but we definitely need correction, and that's all of them. But you just now know or understand what you're actually dealing with. And I think that's the major problem is sometimes we can't identify which is which, which one is it? Is this a traditional one or is this the modern one? And I think that's a big problem sometimes, especially in these spaces that we're in now.
I think what I was trying to say earlier, right, is because when I hear people talk, right, and they talk from a position of this is how manly men are, right, and I hear a conversation about successful relationships, I can't deny that there is a sort of symphony of the things that I mentioned about the men. They're not arguing. They say what they say and then they move on from it. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Whereas then you have guys like me that, like I said, we're more emotional, right? So we'll argue. You know what I'm saying? Whereas that's probably not the healthiest thing to do, and it makes it kind of difficult, you know what I'm saying, for us to communicate properly with our women because their nature is telling them this isn't how a man is supposed to act, right? But for us, we're getting the same thing. Our nature is telling us that this isn't how my woman is supposed to act. And so that creates this conflict and this breakdown in communication. And once you realize that, you want to try to change it, but not all the time do we have the right tools to do that. And so I think that it reflected actually today on my show. I had a friend on and she mischaracterized what I said. That is a trigger for me. And I tried to correct her about it. And she was not really, standing for the correction. And so it led into a whole bunch of other stuff. I don't think maybe I spoke right about it. Even today, I was emotional. I was kind of more emotional with my lady today earlier. And it's like, I don't even want to be that way, but it's like, it's a deep-rooted program. And you're trying to weed it out. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to weed it out. You're trying to get to this calm Zen place, Nam Yo Horenge Yo, like all of these manly men. You want to be like that, but it's so difficult. And so, at the risk of being called a simp, I would just ask the women and even my lady to, just bear with us, extend a little bit of grace. Like we trying, You know what I'm saying? We trying to figure it out just like they trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But communication, understanding, and grace, I think, is really big at this time between the two of us, meaning black men and black women. And understanding we all were dealt the raw hand. One of the reasons why I really want to champion the women and extend the grace to women and highlight the good women. I'm not just talking about married women. I'm talking about women in general.
Right.
If you're beautiful, I'm gonna highlight that. If you're intelligent, I'm gonna highlight that. If you're a dope mama, I want to highlight that. If you're a dope artist, I want to highlight that. You know what I'm saying? But I think one of the reasons why I really started to get into this mode where I wanted to do this for the women is because I was trying to educate the women into understanding that men, whether you want to call them simps, formerly known as Pookies and Ray Rays, broke, undisciplined, dysfunctional, mental health issues, mama issues, whatever you want to say about them, they don't wake up just 18 one day and that's who they are. They don't wake up 25 or 30 one day and that's who they are. You know what I'm saying? They have a history. They have a youth, an upbringing that leads them to that. I quoted Ben Shapiro earlier. I'll do it again. Ben Shapiro said, we have to stop pretending like the way we raise our children does not affect or determine who they become when they're adults. It does.
Right.
So when
it shapes you completely. It shapes you completely.
Exactly. And so that's what I'm saying. When we have these conversations about the men, particularly the women and a lot of conservative black men, when we have this conversation, it's just like, oh, the men are this, the men are that. And then when I say, well, how did they get that way? Oh, well, no, you just want to blame somebody else. No, I just want to have the conversation about how they got that way. They didn't just wake up one day that way. And so I spent a lot of episodes doing that. And then I started seeing there's a lot of men in this space that's doing it for the women. They don't necessarily need my help anymore, right? So I want to champion the women, and then I want to say to the men, well, hey, fellas, listen, yeah, we get it. The women are broken and they're dysfunctional, and all these things they say about us, it applies to them too. However, they don't wake up 18 that way. They don't wake up 25 that way. They don't wake up one day 30 with kids and broken relationships and all of this other stuff that we want to talk about them, bro. Like after the age of 12, every man in their life is trying to sleep with them. How can they trust a man? You see what I'm saying? Like, I know that must be difficult to move through life like that as a woman. And so I want to, explore that journey so that maybe the men and even some women for that matter can understand what the process is like for women and why we should be willing to champion each other even in this dysfunctional climate.
So let me tell you what I heard you say. I'm going to tell you what you're saying. What you're saying is that some of us are just immature. We're socially immature, and we do have to self-reflect because whatever shaped us, for some of us, there are traumas that shaped us in our life. And at that particular moment, we stop growing. So if you self-reflect, let's say something happened to you at 11 that was traumatic. You're still 11, even though you're in a grown man's body.
Right.
And you're still a man, though. So don't think just because you're emotional, you're not a man. So I don't know. I don't put those two together.
Yeah.
A man can be a man even if he's a man with no money. A man is a man with a plan. It has nothing to do with six figures or any of that. And I think that's what Daryl was trying to say. My husband was not a project head in any means, but he wasn't six figures, but he had a plan and he was a man, meaning I followed him even though he wasn't clothed in everything that he wanted to be. But what we found is sometimes men are socially immature because they're not allowed to feel. So you're not allowed to retract those things that you've been through. So a part of you, or if I can say it, just kind of died at whatever age that trauma hit you. So now what you got to do is be honest with yourself, self-reflect, and go back and get the rest of you. Is it 11, 12, or whatever it was, and find someone to talk with. Could be counselor, could be someone you trust. It doesn't necessarily have to be a counselor because it just requires you going back and getting those thoughts and those feelings and those emotions that you left behind while you were protecting yourself. It doesn't have to be somebody that's registered because all you need is somebody to listen.
That's a fact. That's a
Once
fact.
you get all those emotion and those feelings and all those things you went through, and you get to let it all out, and then it just grows up with you. Now it's growing up with you because now you can deal with it in real time. It tends to then you'll begin to be that man that, I hate to say it, I don't hate to say it, that your creator made you. You'll get back to that business at that point. And you'll being back to that business, you'll have control of those emotions. It's not that you're not going to have them, but you'll have control of those emotions, and you'll have the foresight to see when you need to use it, or where it needs to be used, or how you need to use it. You don't have to be just giving stuff away. But you still have to first grow up that 12-year-old. You have to, sometimes it's so crazy because it could be something as weird as spilling something. If you spill something a lot, if say you were a clumsy kid, but you had a dad that was a tyrant, and every time you spill something, instead of him just saying get it up, he went crazy. You know, that would stunt your growth.
Right.
That would be trauma to you.
That is a fact.
You got to go back and identify that and be like, hey, how did that affect me? I'm in here tripping now. I'm on edge when something happens. You know, you got to grow up with that. That has to grow up in you and realize that, hey, this ain't nothing. But you got to get to that point, and you got to have somebody with you that will allow you just to be you, that won't judge you, that will just listen to you, that will cover you when you need it. You know, that's going to be, that person that you can be vulnerable with.
I agree, and I think that involves a lot of accountability and introspection and honesty. And I remember when I was in college, my professor told me, he said, "You're going to live a very lonely life."
Yeah, if you alienate everybody, you sure will. You will.
He said because you think deeper than most people.
Oh, yeah.
He said most people are surface thinkers because it's uncomfortable to think really deeply about things, but you like to think deeper. You like to go into those places and have those conversations. The people who follow my platform tell me that the reason why they really rock with me is because I'm so transparent. Mandrill has told me that he believes I'm too transparent. You know what I mean? I like to be honest because, well, one of it is fear. Everybody knows I deal with anxiety and depression. And one of the reasons why I'm so transparent is fear. I don't like for people to think that I'm ever lying. There's layers to that as well. It's deeper than just not wanting people to think I'm lying, but at the same time, I don't want anybody to, feel like they can hold anything against me or bring back something I said. Like, oh, remember he said this, y'all. See, he was lying. Like, I'm way too transparent. I share too much because I want people to know that I'm telling the truth. And part of that is because I don't actually trust people. Ironically. Right? I don't trust people, but I want them to trust me so much that it makes me too. I mean, it's so deep. But
it's not, because what you're saying is you're an intuitive person and you have a gift of discernment. So it's really not. You just need to figure out who you are, but you just got to grow up in it. And you've lost some years of your life. You've lost some years of your maturity that needs to come catch up with you. And
honestly, I think at this point, what it really is I know who I am. It's just about being comfortable with it, because who I am isn't always applicable to society.
You may not ever be comfortable with it. You sound like you're very gifted, and a lot of times people don't want their gifts because your gifts reveal a lot of things, and sometimes those things you don't want to know what they are, or you don't want to follow. You don't want to follow through on what the gifts tell you to do.
That is a fact.
You don't want to do it. You're like, nah, I don't even want to know that. So,
right,
you may not ever be comfortable with those gifts. So,
yeah, it's scary.
That might be
it's scary. Honestly, it's scary. That's one of the reasons why I don't.
I know that
too much with religion and all of that, because it's so scary. It's like I'm cool right here where I'm at, because at the same time, what I don't want to do is I don't want to continue to lose out in certain situations, right, based on who I am. But at the same time, it's trying to find a balance of saying, okay, I don't necessarily have to be this, right? I don't have to be angry. It's okay to be upset, but don't be angry. It's okay to be emotional, but don't be, obtuse about it. It's okay to speak your mind, but you don't have to be egotistical. You know, it's okay to cry, but don't rest in pity. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're trying to find this balance, right? But I always say it's hard to find balance when your peace is full of gunpowder. It makes it very hard to find balance.
So listen, Big Bad Bull had a
I'm getting
question.
that.
Big Bad Bull said, "Why is he allowed to be broken?" Oh, wait a minute. Why is he allowed to be broken and imperfect, but yet requires someone that is close to be perfect or to have perfection? Seems jive unfair.
Yeah. Big Bad Bull, I've come to understand, is a troll.
He is not a troll. He's a moderator.
That's cool. That's cool.
He's not a troll, but he is to the point.
No, what it is he I hate to say this, he operates like a woman. He takes things that you say, right? And then if you're not filling in the blanks for him, he fill them in for himself, right? Instead of just saying, well, I don't know, so don't let me assume. It's not even my business to know. If like, this is what I know about Security Boss. I know Security Boss was married, divorced, with a kid. We had another relationship, didn't work out.
That's not true, though. That's not my story.
You were married once, right?
No, I'm married now.
You were never married before?
No, never.
Okay, so you had a relationship before, right?
I had a fiance before with my friend. Yes.
Okay, so you had a relationship with somebody, right? That didn't work out, and then you had another relationship in between your husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then your husband, right? And you got a kid.
Yes.
That's as much as I know. I'm not filling in no blanks. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to, well, man, maybe this happened then. And nope. I'm going off what you said. I don't need to hear your husband's side of the story. I don't need to hear nobody else's side of the story. What I got from you is enough. I don't need no more. You see what I'm saying? But that's the problem, right? So I actually had a conversation on my platform today about my lady. Big Bad Bull is in the chat like, man, bring your lady on. Let her speak for herself. Why? Why do you need to hear from my lady? That wouldn't even make any sense to me.
Well, you know what? Right? I didn't mean to derail anything. Big Bad Bull.
No. We ain't. Listen, this is what I'm saying. I'm very demonstrative, and so and passionate, and people confuse passion with anger, and they confuse being demonstrative with being mad, and it's not. I'm very demonstrative, and I'm very passionate. When I'm angry and I'm mad, I'll tell you. When I'm not, that's not what it is. I can be loud, I can be angry, and I can literally laugh in the very next second about something. I did it today. I was yelling and screaming, and then I cracked a joke about something Anton always says. Right? And I'm like, y'all not laughing. Why are y'all not laughing? I'm laughing. And everybody started laughing like, oh, we don't know. We don't know when you're serious or when you're angry or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's pretty cool for me. I ain't going to lie. It's cool for people to not know when I'm serious or when I'm joking, right?
I don't know about that because that I don't know. I don't know if that's good or not. I don't know.
Sometimes it's not good. Sometimes it's not, but sometimes it is.
I don't know because I don't know how to take you sometimes. And you know how you never want to offend a person.
Yeah.
And we're just talking, like I've been told I'm very straightforward with my words, but are you good with that? Or you know what I'm saying? Are you passionate about it? Was those the wrong words? Did I say something? You just don't know. And you don't ever want to offend. But if you do offend, you want to talk about it. I do. I want to talk. And I get that from you too. But if I don't know how you feeling, I don't know if, because I happen to think if something does offend, you will shut down. So then we don't know.
I love to talk. Listen, I love to talk. I will talk. This is what I'm saying. This is one of the bad things is because I will talk and I love to debate, right? I don't like to argue, but I do love to debate. I love it. It is so mentally stimulating. You know what I'm saying? And then even in concessions, there's lessons in concessions, right? So we can be arguing about something, right? We're both trying to get to point C, but I lost point A and I lost point B. We get to point C and I won, right? So, and in point A and point B, where I lost, there was lessons there. I get to be right now. You corrected me on something. I can move forward now and I know something different. You see what I'm saying? So I love having conversations. There is no shutdown with me. I would talk all day if I could, right? So, but that's what I'm saying. Even like now with Big Bad Bull, I can't, what I'm learning with this internet, this YouTube and all this, It's very therapeutic for me. Like you said, you just having a conversation sometimes can be very beneficial for you. It's very therapeutic for me. But one of the things that it is maturing me on is understanding that you can't do nothing about what people say, right? People say things sometimes. I be wanting to reach through the computer and touch people, but you know that you can't, right? But one thing I do also realize is that on my panel, and I'm so glad you said this and somebody in your comments said this, that's my panel.
Yep.
So on my panel, I get to tell you that you don't get to overtalk me and that you don't get to mischaracterize what I'm saying.
Right.
Because it's my show. And if you think me saying that means that you don't want to support me anymore, or if Big Bad Bull thinks that me not filling in the blanks for him with the information he wants means he ain't gonna come around no more, so long. I'm gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
but it's not no
important.
smoke though. It's not no smoke. I love Big Bad Bull. I love everybody. Like it's all
it's
good.
it's very important you set the standard. But I've been here 3 hours and 21 minutes, and
no doubt
I have to go. But I appreciate you so much for being here, and I want you to come back sometime. You know, I know you're busy now, though. I know you got your channel you're working on. And I definitely want you to be successful over there. So I be catching tidbits of it and stuff. So I'm supporting. You know I am. So
salute to you and salute to Mr. Boss as well.
Keep it up. So listen, I'll see you soon. And
all
thank
right
you
now.
for being here.
Okay,
have a
cool.
night. All right, bye-bye.
Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul. I can't sit still for a minute. I'm so dead set on indifference. Keep it Charlie, stay down with them Dickens. Let's get around like it's the 80s. Right round, let's keep spinning. Let's keep playing these games that we don't want to finish. And I'm sorry if that sounds a bit bitter, but I am to the core. You want the whole damn thing, then you ask him for more. You want that old jive, you take up all of the floor. I'm fine with standing at the edge of the door. You be the life of the party. I blend in with the core. You drink it all to Bacardi. Let's take it back for this started. You want the love, I don't got it. You screaming, stay, please don't go. Don't think it's in me to listen to flow. It's so different with distance we roam into zones where nothing get heard anymore. I just wish I was home when I stepped through front door, but instead I'm alone and completely unsure. And even though you're screaming out with the best of intentions, I don't get it. Why do you always gotta ask me to stay? Why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. Say, why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. See, I've been lost in my thoughts, and my thoughts they too scared to usher off. Sorry, Mom, I just thought you were my world. Now you're not. And I'm just sitting, smoking, sloping in the days, cause my days ain't been the same since I drove here. I remember the way you wrote letters in blue ink. You and me was in love. Think about what your crew think. I know your moms probably think I'm a bastard. Your pops probably want to beat my death and take a in my casket. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cussing. Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars, reading poets at sunset. It's funny how love can fall out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist a spliff and laugh and relax. Are you crying? And I'm trying to find the reasons, so I ask, does forever ever happen, or is it always fade to black? I can't say, no, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road. I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road.